So I guess we'll get the show on the road again. So
All right.
you've been on here before. It was just some technical
Sadly.
difficulties. Unfortunately, but we're here again and we're doing it. So that's all that matters. So
We're
this
back.
is this is fucking episode 16. I have one more that I haven't released. That's gonna be released here probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, episode 16. If you want to introduce yourself, brother, and tell the people who you are and what you did, time and service,
Mhm.
all that good stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, David McCorn the third. I go by Trey. Joined the United States Marine Corps era,
Hey, Rick.
2013. 2013. Served at 2017. Got out. I was 0311 rifleman. Joined the Marine Corps or joined the infantry because I'm a dumbass. And I wanted to go stack bodies.
Yeah.
And I joined because I have a bunch of my entire family pretty much has served. All the men in the family have served. My dad was in the Navy. His dad was in the Army and the Air Force. My stepmom's dad was in the Air Force. My little brother, he's in the Chair Force right now.
Yeah. The right
So we
branch.
kind of we have a legacy of just our the men in our family just stepping up and doing our part for this country.
Yeah.
Whether we agree with what with the direction or not, it's kind of just something we've done. So I felt inspired by the legacy of my family to do my part, and I kind of did. I mean, I didn't really have anything else going on in my life. I knew at a young age that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Was join the military. I didn't really know it was going to bring the Marine Corps till closer around that time. And so why the Marine Corps, not the Army and the Air Force and the Navy? Um, Man, they got me when I walked into recruitment office. They got
They get you
me.
good, dude. They
They
get you
do,
good.
but it's there was a and but since we know that we know the core inside and out, there's a level of acting and playing up they do, but you can tell like there was a level of pride that the Marines had
Yeah.
that the Army didn't have, the Air Force didn't have, and the Navy didn't have.
Oh yeah.
Like when I talked to those recruiters, it kind of just felt like they had a job, they were at work.
Yeah.
When I talked to the Marine Corps recruiters, like they were like, "This is my life. I
Mm-hmm.
live, breathe, sweat, bleed. Red and gold. Like I got an
Yeah.
EGA tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
eating crayons and 5.56 in the morning. For breakfast,
Yeah.
and drain and wash it down with CLP. Like that's
No
what we
shit.
do. Um, but yeah, no, it's just definitely it was a
There's passion behind
it's like
the
a
shit that
motivating.
they're spewing. Definitely.
Exactly. It's passion behind it, and there was just the legacy and everything. Every Marine is proud of the legacy of the Marine Corps. Whether your experience was good or not. Like I'm so proud to be a fucking Marine. Like
Fuck yeah.
I'm glad I didn't puss out and go to the Army. Like I don't think I'd be
Yeah.
able to live with myself. No disrespect to the to our soldiers out there, but
Yeah.
hey, somebody's got to do it. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
um, but that's just comes with it. There's a pride and sense to it. Because like unlike the other branches, and this personally, like you earn your Eagle Glove and Anchor. You earn the title of Marine. You don't just sign a contract and ominous dominus you're a Marine like you do
Yeah.
like an Army. You're a soldier off the bat. You're a seaman, off the bat. You're an airman off the bat. It's like no, you are a piece of shit maggot.
You're nothing.
turd, yeah, turd.
You're not even a I. You can't you're not even like an individual anymore. You know what I mean? Like
No, man, you earn that shit. Like you earn it, and man, dude, I cried like a little bitch when I got my EGA up there on
same.
Mount Motherfucker, dude, up there on the Reaper, dude.
On
I
the
cried
Reaper.
like a little bitch because for 3 months, you're working for every single day.
Yeah.
You're working for it, and there's that sense of pride, and that's nothing. Nobody can take that away from you. That's why they say there's no such thing as an ex-marine. Once Marine, always Marine, because
Yeah.
you always have that accomplishment. Soldiers come and go, airmen come and go, sailors come and go, but you're always a fucking Marine. You always did all that work to earn your Eagle Globe and Anchor. It wasn't handed to you. It wasn't just given to you. You earned that.
Yeah.
Um, and so that there, that pride, that legacy, that legacy of like, yo, we're the first ones in. Like, what's
Yeah.
up? We're going in there. We're going
The
to action, and everything. So
history.
that was very, yeah, exactly. That was just very appealing. Um, So that's kind of why that I got drawn towards the Marine Corps versus the other branches. There was,
Yeah.
there's conviction and there was passion in every level of it that I saw, even, from training, from boot camp to SOI to the fleet. You could see that passion. You could see that, even things were shitty in the fleet. Like,
Yeah.
we still get motivated and we still be like, hell yeah, Major K would come out there and be like,
Yeah.
what's going on, Maurice? And just go
Yeah.
out there, charge us up. But well, yeah, so that's why I joined the Marine Corps, because they just had there's that ness, that's
Yeah.
that that the
Oof.
Marine Corps,
Yeah. I
packed
know
off
this.
out the gate.
I know this, but I know people don't, obviously, and I don't even think
Mm-hmm.
people who see these boot camp videos, probably they don't even show this, but um, they do a real good job at showing you, or not even showing you, but making you earn every single little step of looking like an official Marine when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
wearing your fucking go fasters and wearing like yeah, your go fasters with camis, and then like wearing boots, not bloused, and you have that top button, and you look like a real
Mm-hmm.
clown, right? And then
Oh yeah.
you see people in like second phase with like their boots bloused, and you're like, man, that
Mm-hmm.
looks sick.
I
Like
was like, yeah, they could clean, yeah. And it's
yeah,
like,
like
and they get
damn,
the unbutton there, It's like, damn.
yeah,
It's like,
they
yeah,
got
y'all,
it. They're looking
yeah.
like Marines. It's stages of like getting to
Mm-hmm.
become a Marine, and then you see the third phaser guys drilling, and you're like, holy fuck, those guys got their shit
Yeah.
on point, and you hear them sounding off, and you're like,
And then,
damn,
and then if you're lucky enough to witness a graduation, you're just like, oh my god, like these fucking blues, like everybody's
yeah,
like in there, it's all tight and everything. Yeah, there's it's like nothing is given to you in the Marine Corps. You have to earn, Yeah, like you said for boot camp, you got to earn everything. Like you start out and in your fucking in your PT shirt, glow
Jesus,
belt,
glow belt. Oh
and
my
go
god, I forgot
fasters
about that. Yeah,
and cami bottoms, bro. Like,
you look like a clown, dude. You look terrible. It's very
and don't
easy to
forget you
distinguish.
still had to wear your cover.
Yeah.
Yo, like, yeah, you look like an idiot. You look stupid.
They make it easy to
All that time.
distinguish the phases, huh? I think that's a good way
Yeah.
to do it.
No, yeah, they definitely have, yeah. And then, as it progressed, and yeah, you would see that, you see the third phasers and everything, and they're coming to chow hall, they're all marching in and everything. You're
Yeah.
just like, damn, you're over there looking like an idiot, hand holding,
Yeah, holding your
holding your
canteen
canteen.
like an asshole like this. And they're coming in with their rifles and they're being loud as fuck,
Yeah,
slamming those heels in, you know? And you're over there first phase marching like a giraffe, like
yeah,
because they
right.
have you doing it all slow at first, so you're looking like a baby calf. Yeah, they do a real good job at that. I think that
Dude,
that's one
yeah,
thing they make you
yeah.
look forward to earn. It's like leveling up your character.
Hmm.
You're like, damn, I got my boots blast. I can't wait to get this. Can't wait to roll up my sleeves or whatever. Even though
Yeah.
they brought those back after
Yeah,
me.
when we were in the fleet,
Yeah, when
yeah,
we were in
that's
the
when we started
fleet,
rolling sleeves again. We didn't have to roll them boot camp,
which I
which is
like.
to a degree.
Yeah,
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I don't know. There was a degree, like, yeah, sleeves are cool, but they're also like,
a
I
pain in the
think,
ass.
I think if we had come from like the Marine Corps still doing sleeves and we did this in boot camp and everything like that, because like I just feel like when we were in the fleet, it was just stupid. Like it was just
Yeah,
another thing to nitpick in two
yeah.
seven. There was
To
like,
get shit on.
you're I'm like, yeah, oh, your sleeves are so loose. Let me come finger fuck your
Look,
sleeve.
look,
It's like, oh
look.
my god. It's like, of course they're loose. I haven't re-rolled these things in 6 days. Like, I'm not re-rolling these. Like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah,
back from the field. These are my
but
only pair of camis. Like shit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I literally got back from the field.
Yeah.
We got back at midnight. I didn't have time to do some laundry and be at formation at 06. Sorry about it, Sergeant Major, that I didn't have time to re-roll my sleeves before that, getting 1.5 hours of good sleep because
Yeah.
we spent 3 hours at the armory.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, dude.
The
Yeah, it was
hustle.
just one of those things that they were just like, oh, let's nitpick this.
How
Um,
would you describe the difference between boot camp and School of Infantry for people who are potentially just about to go into boot camp or who are just curious about like the
yeah.
big differences about School of Infantry and boot camp?
So for boot camp, what I've told people is boot camp is 90% mental, 10% physical.
That's fair.
Um,
Yeah.
all they're doing in boot camp is Like, most people join at, 18, 19, 20. So you're taking all those years, 18, 19, 20 years of bad habits of you being a nasty, undisciplined fuck
Yeah.
and, breaking you down to nothing and then rebuilding you,
Hmm.
up into the standards of the Marine Corps. Because once you come, I mean, you're nasty, nasty little fuck when you get there and
Yeah.
everything, and just like undisciplined and everything. And then by the time you come out, you're sharp and clean. I remember like even after I graduated, dude, I was like doing shit, like still looking professional, doing all this shit when
Yeah.
I
Being an ultra boot, right?
um yeah, exactly, being an ultra boot. And so I was so from the difference between so yeah, the SOI is, you're a Marine at that point. You have some sort of, like you ever seen Shark Tale?
I have. I have.
You remember when he's going down the list of things that matter? He's like, there's whale poo, and then there's you.
Oh yeah,
Going down this list
Oscar
of
at the
things. He's
bottom.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So it's like, you leveled up a little bit. Like you're still on the bottom of the totem pole because now rank is a thing, but you have a little bit more autonomy. You're a little bit less micromanaged.
A
Um,
little bit.
little bit,
Yeah.
little bit, but it's better than boot camp. Like you don't really have to do things by the numbers. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, get online, okay, be dressed and then by this time, whatever, you're still micromanaged, not to the same degree. They're less focused on your, because at this point, these are things you should know. You should know how to, hygiene
Shave.
yourself. You
Yeah,
should
yeah,
know how
yeah.
to have proper attire, your boots, blouse, everything like that. You should be able to get up in a moment's notice and get your shit together. Those
Right.
are the things that they're fine tuning. They're not really the priority.
Hmm.
What you're worried about is your training. So for the first month of SOI, you have your general infantry courses. So you're learning how to fire, maneuver, all the basic infantry stuff. And then at the split play point, halfway through SOI, is when the other O3 MOS is coming to play. So, if you want to be, everybody's pretty much a rifleman. Um, well, no, you can contract you can contract assaultman, mortarman, and machine gunner. But for the most part, most people just went in O3 open or O3 11 or whatever. So this gave you an opportunity to kind of switch up your thing. If you wanted to train as a machine gunner, you could train as a machine gunner. If you wanted to be, or if that was your MLS, that's when you would
Right.
split off and start doing machine gun stuff. If you were a mortarman or you wanted to be a mortarman, you could go split off and do the training. If you wanted to be an assaultman, which I wanted to be,
Mm.
um, and you can go off and do that. And I got fucked over by my guide from boot camp because I told you this last time, but for everybody who didn't get to hear our awesome episode,
Yeah.
rest
Bummer.
rest in peace episode.
Rip.
But so I was waiting in line, so we hit that split, and they're telling us like, yeah, if you're an O3 open, you can go. You can go. It's basically sign up to join these other MOSs, solidify your MOS.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll just be a rifleman. And so I hop in the line, and then at a certain point, I was right behind the guide, and after like so they counted people, and then literally counted him, and then like everybody else behind him go fuck off.
Yeah,
I
go
was
do
just like,
something
son of
else.
a bitch. So I went and go sat back on my pack and everything. I was like, dude, I was pissed. I was like, well, I guess I'm a rifleman now. It's like not the worst thing, whatever. And then he comes and sits down. Like 5 minutes later, he's like, I was like, what happened? He's like, yeah, I didn't want to do it. I was like,
What?
are you shitting me? Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, dude, I actually wanted to be an assaultman. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I was so fucking pissed.
Did he not
Dude, I
know
was
that's what
so
that
fucking.
was for, or what? Was he just
No, he
stupid?
knew. I think he just changed his mind.
Damn, that was
He
quick.
just changed his mind. And I was just like, dude, like, I get it, but like, fuck you because I actually wanted that and I would have taken your spot.
Yeah.
But, everything happens for a reason. So,
Yeah.
so I went, so we do the training and then, yeah, we split off. We do our individual training, everything like that. For us, man, oh, dude, for 11s, you're in the field for a week, you come back on the weekend. You're in the field for a week, you come back on the weekend. You're in the field for a week,
Ooh.
you come back on a weekend for a month.
Damn.
Like that's how it is basically. Like range, field, field. Maybe you'll come back for a day. We have a range. And then fuck transpo. We're hiking everywhere. We got a range. Ruck up, nigga. Like we're going. Like we're fucking put your back up. Like we're going, dude. Like and then what was fucked up? We had a combat instructor. Um, I can't remember his name. Little guy, man. He was a short motherfucker. This guy we would be out rucking and everything. This dude would take off sprinting, and we would all have to like chase after
Oh
this guy.
no.
And then so we would be, like accordion the whole way there because
Ooh,
he's like wait for everybody to catch up and then take off running.
that's
And then
the
wait for everybody to catch up
worst.
and then take off running. And it was like, dude, they just fucked with us like for a month straight.
Jeez.
Um so yeah, so we got our dicks kicked in Pendleton, just dealing with all the field shit. Which
Yeah.
kind of prepared us for 2-7 because we got dicked on in the
Oh
field.
yeah, 2-7's making internet history right now.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm not tracking. I kind of see it pop up, but I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, goddamn,
I
two
can't
seven. Like,
believe
what
it,
do you
dude.
do?
I can't believe it.
So what? Yeah. So quickly, if you know, like, explain that to me. What's going on
This
with
is what
that?
I heard, right? This is what I heard.
Hmm.
For everybody who doesn't know, 2-7 is a unit that McCorn and I served in during our
Yeah.
enlistment. And it was always full of bullshit, to say the least. But what happened is two Marines got into a fight. One of them has to go to the hospital. And I guess the sergeant major thinks it's a good idea to mass punish all the NCOs and get them all on the duty roster for during the Christmas leave. So they got all the NCOs to be on fucking duty during the Christmas leave, and they're not allowing them to go home, even though they just got back from deployment.
Wait, because somebody had to go to the hospital.
Because two Marines fought, I don't know if it's NCOs or not, but because two Marines
Uh,
fought, they're punishing all the NCOs in the unit. That's some 2-7 shit for sure. They're that's some 2-7 shit.
that is 2-7 as fuck.
Oh, 2-7 as fuck.
Yeah.
It sounds like it should surprise me, but it doesn't. Um,
No, it doesn't. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds about
yeah, because
right.
I don't know if you remember, but they made all of us. What was it? It was 6 people per floor on duty at one point. They had a rover on each corner of the barracks, and they had duty NCOs, and they had that replicated on every floor of the barracks. And I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, why are
For what?
somebody had stolen something? I think it was. I think somebody stole a TV. I think like an EASer stole a TV from the bottom lobby floor, and and then we just got fucking shit on for who knows how long. And I think it was close to the end. It was close to deploying, so I was just like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. I was like, I just
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that was nuts. I remember we had I remember the guys on our second deployment right before we got out of there. Um, it was it the night before. Yeah, it was the night before. Because I had to wake up and when did I have to be at the barracks? It was the night before we were deploying, so we had to be at there, zero dark stupid,
yeah,
and sit outside all fucking day for the buses to arrive, at
yeah.
14 fucking hundred. Oh, we're here at 06
I
fucking
never
30
understood that.
because reasons. Because we need to run accountability
All night.
67 times. Yeah, exactly. um, but I remember hearing about the glow stick fight from the
Ah, I
bear. Yeah,
remember that.
dude, I remember
Ah.
hearing, dude, that once we got and the AO, I remember hearing, dude, they're like, yeah, I was like, dude, we're getting fucked on. Like, this is bad. Like,
Fucked
there's like,
on.
dude, the only, I remember one of the guys told me, it's like, the only reason I escaped it because I was leaving the next day. But yeah, they were
Yup.
getting fucked. They got fucked on until they left.
I got lucky to leave the next day too, because I remember it was a massive glow stick fight,
Yeah,
massive,
I saw the videos.
between
Like,
two
it was just,
barracks, just,
yeah.
just fucking
So,
glow
so to put
sticks.
this in perspective for the viewers, right? So you take like, I'm trying to think of something. Like you just think of like a general purpose, like 2-lane road, right? So with that size, and you have two, like, think about apartment complexes, right, across the street, and you have a bunch of idiots with they're chem lights, but they're basically just
Glow sticks.
military grade glow
Yeah,
sticks
yeah.
throwing hundreds
Hundreds,
of glow sticks
hundreds.
across what would you say? That was probably like what? Maybe like 50, 60 yards,
Maybe, yeah, at
like maybe
most.
100 yards.
Yeah,
So, but like hundreds, like
hundreds,
hundreds
hundreds.
being just thrown. Like I remember saw a video, dude.
It's
It almost
ridiculous.
looked like a Star Wars fight because it looked like
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
blaster bolts
The
going everywhere.
Republic and the CIS just
Yeah, just going back and forth. It's like shooting at each other. But yeah, and then they got fucked
PMO showed up.
on.
I remember when PMO showed up, everybody just like
Yes,
rats, into their fucking nest, just
yeah.
gone. Nothing but glow
It's all
sticks.
scary.
A few guys got caught, and they fucking made them clean it up. But like
Yeah. I remember I
everybody,
thought I saw a picture of some group of people at the smoke pit and the PMO being there like making it was like fucking field day
yep, the
the barracks
whole
of the glow stick.
barracks.
And then didn't they make him get online the next day and just like field day the entire barracks or
I don't
some
remember.
shit,
I
dude?
was
I feel like
deployed.
yeah.
I just
I think I remember
fucking
hearing about it
seeing.
because I wasn't there because I left. I left. It wasn't Advon. We were like first wave.
Yeah, first wave.
We were like. we were Advon too. Like I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how do you have two?
Two
Okay,
advanced
whatever.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, whatever, Marine Corps. Like,
Yeah.
I'll let you have it.
You're making sense.
But yeah, that shit was nuts, dude. That shit was nuts. But yeah,
Yeah.
so SOI, we ended SOI. We had a culminating event, which was pretty badass. All of us got to get together. So, we had machine guns and mortarmen, like they were, launching shit. And at the end of it, the assaultmen got to shoot off their SMOs, and that was pretty sick because
Fuck yeah.
there was like 6 of them online, and they all shot at the same time. So you see all these rockets just launch. I was like, ah!
That's sick.
So that was pretty moto. And then graduated, got shipped off to the fucking desert. I was so lucky because when we arrived, it was in the middle of a lead block, so I didn't get really
Nobody
fucked
was
with
there.
until I got back. And even when I got back, I really didn't get fucked with, which I was like, thank God. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But yeah, because that shit was dumb. Like, there was like, I never understood the hazing shit. I never understood, like, oh, you got to do this dumb shit because this is what we do. It was like, I was like, I'm coming into this a grown ass man. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna do this dumb shit because y'all say it. For what?
Yeah.
Like, for what? And it's like, oh, it's tradition. I was like, is it
Was
though?
that the reasoning? Was that really the whole reasoning for the hazing? It wasn't like to learn anything. It was just like
There were certain things. They're like, okay, and that's the thing with the line got blurred. For people who don't know, hazing is like a general term for, there's like,
abuse.
okay, there's college hazing. Yeah, exactly. There's college hazing, and then there's like military hazing, and then there's Marine Corps hazing. Like that's on a completely different level. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people would pass things off of like, like when you got your rank, it was, tradition hazing to take off your, take off the backings and then let them
Yep.
punch it in your collarbone, which is like, this is fucking stupid for what? Like, cool. Now I'm bleeding for what? Like, I don't like any of you people. I don't feel closer to you. I'm gonna be more wary when I'm around you now because I know you're a fuck. Like, what is this
Yeah.
for? It
That
doesn't.
was
There's a lot of things that don't foster good camaraderie, and there's a lot of things that do. Like if there was like a tradition, like okay, you gotta drink like 3 beers after your first field op with us. You gotta finish
Yeah.
like there's fun things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think, but to our defense, like there was, I think, in the chain of command, they were terrible about this. They would freak out if there was something that was like they would deem as hazing, which would be training. Like, in an instance, like we had a situation where, I'll just take it, like somebody in the squad fucks up, and we all had to PT.
Right.
That's not hazing. That's showing accountability and showing like, okay, not only do your actions affect everybody else, and your fuck ups affect everybody else, and not only does that teach, you like the importance of like, hey, my decisions, my actions can get people killed ultimately, and then on top of that, it has your squad hold you accountable. So if you're the weakest link, on the weekends, kiss your fucking weekends goodbye. We're PTing,
Yeah.
or we're doing remedial training. You need to know this knowledge because you're in my squad, and I don't want to be in a firefight if you don't know your shit.
Right, which is fair.
So if that means we got to run, if we got to run drills on the weekend, I'm going to sacrifice my weekend, and you're sure as shit going to sacrifice your weekend, so that we know that we're up to snuff. So that way, if something happens when we're in the AO, I know that everybody in my squad is going to be able to perform.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. And 2-7, I mean, they would jump the gun on fucking everything. So like,
I think it's because they had so
this is-
many hazing, like bad hazing incidents, that they were just trying to completely avoid any sort of like hint or resemblance of hazing. You know.
And to be fair, I mean, when we joined, I mean, because what, you went in around 2013 as well?
Mm-hmm.
2012, 2013, okay. Um, at that point in time, I mean, the Marine Corps had softened up a lot, you know, because, I mean, they were able to beat the shit out of you in boot camp, you know, not too
Yeah.
long ago. And then
Yeah.
now, I mean, they couldn't do shit to you, even if they wanted to. There was a few instances, like, where things got a
Yeah.
little precarious, but it was just like, you
Sometimes.
know, you're a fucking boot. And you're not gonna say anything. You're
No.
fucking. You know, you're goddamn. What do they call you in boot camp? You were a you were a recruit. Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
recruit
Recruit. Yeah.
in boot camp. Yeah, recruit
You don't give a
McCorn
shit.
request permission to
Yeah.
go to the bathroom, sir. Like
Yeah.
that type shit. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
You
you're
weren't
not allowed to
anything.
say I, me. You know, no, you're a recruit. Like you know, and you got to be like this. Yeah, this recruit. You know,
That
yeah. It's like.
person. Yeah. It's
They'd be
so.
like, it's like, I need this recruit,
Yeah.
this
They fucking
recruit.
freak out. They
Yeah.
freak out. It's crazy.
Yeah, they would wake out like, what? Oh, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this recruit? Oh, no shit, right? You know? um, but yeah, so it was softened up a lot. So yeah, I'd say there was a lot of pressure on them, especially with 2-7's notorious rep. I mean, and
Yeah.
then when we got there, dude, they had just gotten over the shit with golf, you know, with that
Mm.
the dude that killed that chick.
Yep. Yep. I
And that
thought
was
he
a
was
whole
from
date layout. A
Fox.
whole
Is he from golf?
no, it was golf. Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah, I'm pretty
Christ.
sure it was golf. Yeah, and they had that Dateline episode about it and everything like that. It was like, dude, yeah, that was right before I got there.
That's some chaotic
The
shit.
month, yeah, yeah, it was like the month that we were going out there. It was around like what September, October time frame, and yeah, and then we got there and that shit was getting wrapped up, and then there was like,
There
man,
was a few
how
guys
many
who had
murders?
gotten back from the break for hazing.
Yeah.
Too. A few O3s. I think Govea,
Mm.
Traxler. I'm trying to remember. I think they were all from Fox though.
Oh, they were in the fucking break.
Yeah, dude. I think they went to the break for a bit. Yeah. They came back as like
I didn't know
privates.
that.
Yeah, that's why they were all privates, and then like they picked up like PFC, and then they picked up Lance, but they all had like fucking dummy low fades, because they were
Yeah,
like,
there was like fuck this. Yeah,
yeah, they were just fucking
like
over it.
we deployed and shit. You're like, you can eat my ass. I
Yeah,
don't care.
yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing more entitled than a salty Lance Corporal. You know,
yeah.
somebody who got, dude. Yeah,
Deployed
they're fuckers.
to like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
combat
And that was the
zone or
thing. Like,
something.
and that's the thing that pissed me off, especially that was like, don't get me wrong. I had seniors who were, combat vets, like seen some shit,
Same.
you know,
Yeah.
did some shit, whatever. And there was a lot of people, and you could tell there was a difference. I mean, you could tell who saw some shit and who didn't, because the people who saw shit were chill. They were
Mm-hmm.
chill as fuck, you know. Don't get me wrong, they would fuck you up if need be, but they were chill as fuck. They weren't in your face, they weren't like demanding your respect. You
Yeah.
knew who they were, and for the most part, you steered clear,
Yeah.
unless they invited you in,
Yeah.
because I had a lot of cool dudes who were like that. Like you could tell that they've been to some shit because they were like, they were more. I guess they cared more about you because they're like, not
They
necessarily like they gave a
know.
fuck about you, but it's like I've seen combat. I
Yeah.
need you to be ready for that, So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a little bit more care and make sure you know your knowledge, make sure you're up to snuff, all that shit like that. And they actually, like I had a was a team leader, squad leader, it was a team leader, who actually gave a shit about us outside the Marine Corps. It's like, hey, make sure you're doing this, get your knowledge, do study
Nice.
this, all
That's
this other
good.
shit, and which was kind of a dime a dozen, fucking
Yeah.
2-7, um, but but yeah, so you could tell those people apart very easily. And then I hated those people who didn't see combat, who were on the same deployment, didn't see anything, and then they want to
Mm-hmm.
puff their chests up like, oh, I deployed to Afghanistan, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, cool, I don't give a fuck. The only thing you have on me is a deployment. Like that's
Yeah.
it. You're not shit. You deployed once, cool, and you didn't see anything, cool. And we're about to deploy again, and guess what? You're not going to see anything, cool.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get out, never seeing anything, cool.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. And guess what? Nobody's gonna give a shit that you went to Afghanistan when you get to your civilian world. When you get to
Nobody.
civilian, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody
Nobody.
fucking cares.
If anything, you'll
Unless
get
you were
a
blown up.
oh.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you were blown up, shot, or stabbed, nobody in the civilian world gives a shit about where you were.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'd love to see, those where those guys landed. That'd be interesting to see where they landed. But
I think
yeah.
I
So
think they probably had to adapt, and they probably had to like ego check themselves and be like, all right, this isn't this.
I hope it was a cold bucket of water.
Yeah, you would think so. Definitely, like it doesn't
Right.
work out here at all. you know.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we don't do that
Yeah, it's like,
here.
not here.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we can get into everything else. But yeah, that's kind of that progression. So different main difference between SOI and
Yeah. So you were saying that
boot
you
camp.
when you arrived to 2-7, everybody was on leave, and then when they were getting back, you didn't necessarily get fucked with too much. Would you say that?
No.
Would you say that like did we knew we were deploying? Did you also hear that we were going to be going to Afghanistan, or?
Yeah, from once I got when we went to we were in SOI, the kids well kids were talking about like, oh yeah, I hope we get sent to a unit that's going to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then some people knew, I didn't know shit, dude. I was just like, I'm just kind of here, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make it through. I'm not cared about. I don't really give too much of a shit about the future. Like I'll go to a unit and then I'll figure it out there.
Right.
And I remember once they assigned everybody units, so one of my friends walked up and he's like, dude, it's like you're so lucky. I was like, why? And he's like, you get to go to Afghan. I was like, for fucking what? He's like, use Afghan, bro. I was like, you know what we're gonna do when we go to Afghan? He's like, what? I was like, we're gonna sit on a fucking fob. You're gonna fucking fry your dick off for months on end. You're gonna get shot at. You're gonna get IDF. You're not gonna be able to shoot back, or you're gonna
Yeah.
get fried. And then you're gonna break down the fob and egress to Leatherneck.
Yeah.
What happened to the unit that went there?
Same. They do
That.
that. Yeah. I
They
think it
did
was
that.
1-7. I think they were the last guys
Yeah.
to go there. And they basically
Yeah, that's all they did.
Yeah, they just
Tore down
everything.
fobs
Yeah.
and when egress to Leatherneck. That was it.
Yeah.
And for those who might not know, Camp Leatherneck was like a big. What was that in? Was that in Afghanistan or was that in another country?
I want to say that was in Afghanistan. I think it was in Afghanistan. I think so.
Yeah. Camp Leatherneck is like
a camp.
It was. We had. Yeah, there was multinationals there, right?
Yeah. It was a big
Leatherneck,
operation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge like mega forward operating base out there in the Middle East, and it was a staging point for a lot of things. Like a lot of things went through Leatherneck that happened in that AO. So that was the everything up to do in there. Most of the headquarters, bigger command elements were there and shit like that. All the coordinating elements for all the field assets, whether that was artillery, tanks, tracks, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the main hub for that stuff.
Yeah. Had you heard anything about 2-7 besides them going to Afghanistan prior to you going there?
I didn't know, dude. I didn't know shit about Dick. I joined the Marine Corps. I didn't know shit. Like I didn't. Right. Dude, I just dove in. I was just like, hey, I was like, I'll learn on the way. I didn't really research a lot. I did the general stuff. I went on the website and looked and researched, MOSs and stuff. And that's how I knew what I wanted to do.
Right. You did more than I.
But yeah, I wasn't. Huh?
I said you did more than I. I didn't research MOSs. I was just gonna look at the list they gave me.
I kind of just looked. I mean, I went on the Marine Corps website and kind of clicked around and stuff like that. I didn't do anything crazy. But yeah, no, I didn't know shit about Dick when I went in. I was just like,
say that you
because
go ahead.
For like to a certain degree, I mean, I knew. I mean, because I grew up in a military family. Like, it doesn't matter what I want or what I know because fuck all that. When I get to the new place, it's not gonna fucking matter.
Yeah. That's fair.
So I think there was a certain degree of that because just knowing what the military is like, it's like, yeah, fuck what you know and what you think. This is what's up.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out on the fly. Once I get to the fleet, I'll worry about 2-7 all that stuff. And so yeah, I didn't know shit about Dig when I got there, and then kind of learned some stuff from the seniors and everything. And I remember, when did we get? Yeah, I think McGruber got there at the same time we got there. I don't know if he listens to this podcast. Hey, fucking Lieutenant McGruber, how you doing, you son of a bitch? That guy was cool though. He was good. But yeah, man, he kind of got a rough shake, but he turned out to be pretty solid. He grew into it. But yeah, I remember we called him Lieutenant McGrury.
And he has a podcast, you said?
No, I said if he listens to this podcast,
okay,
like, hey, what's up?
What up, dude?
But no, he was a solid guy. They called him McGruber.
Really?
Man, they shit on that guy, man. But that was just the thing. Like, they shit on every officer that came in. All the new ones got shit on. I think the only one who didn't. I think the only one who really didn't get shit on was Lieutenant Culver. Well, he's captain now. He was weapons.
I'm trying to remember, and I was with weapons. And
hey, dude, yeah, he was. dude, man, this guy could fly on his traps, dude. His traps were so big he could just like sprout and take
Really? Just
flight
like
and just
fucking
fly off.
huge, dude.
Dude, he was a Jack. Yeah, he was a Jack Diesel, man. He was a cool guy. One of my favorite. I would say if I had to rate, yeah, I would say he's on my top five of favorite officers that I served with. Um, Major K takes a cake. Fucking Major Kerrigan.
Yeah, that
Fucking
guy's got
Rosser, if
some
you're watching
fucking
this, that fucking
motivation, dude.
dude, yeah, that guy. I'm telling you, man. If he called, I told him he was asking. I messaged him about something. I remember a couple of years ago when we were talking about stuff, and he had said he'd asked if he thought doing an easy company reunion would be a good idea. I was like, dude, I was like, sir, if you fucking like you gave the command, we would all fucking be there. I was like, head come hell or high water, I'll fucking be there. I don't give a shit. Like whatever you say, like man, he's Major K. The dad
Yeah.
died. He needs anything. That's Ross, sir. Roger that.
Yeah, I heard
Like
nothing
hey
but
guys,
good things.
fucking yeah. No, Major K was a shit.
Like I didn't
Um,
interact with him too much, but I heard nothing but fucking awesome
yeah,
things about him, and he briefed us a few times and always gave like these moto speeches, and I was always like, man, this guy's
yeah,
fucking cool, you know?
dude. Yeah, he was such a fucking hard charge. And what made him so cool is like, did you know he was a Mustang?
Oh really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't find that out until near the end of the career. But for those who don't know, Mustang is somebody who starts off their enlistment as enlisted, and then they become an officer, and that's what he did. So he started off. I don't remember. I think he was. I think he was a grunt.
Oh really?
Um,
He
yeah, I
has
can't
a grunt
remember.
stack.
Yeah, no, he does because he was like, I mean, he's shown us pictures of him in in Iraq and shit like that, dude, all done up and everything, man. Back when they were wearing the neck stuff and
Yeah.
the little back plates and everything, when they're the kit was extreme. So
Yeah.
he's I mean he's done his time.
Oh, for
he's a
sure. Yeah, those guys get a little
he's a
bit more,
solid guy.
well, a lot more respect than just an
Yeah,
officer coming out of like Naval Academy, and
yeah,
and I think the big
exactly.
thing with that is not every single one of them, but a lot of them come in to the unit just acting like they know everything and like they have all the
Mhm,
experience of the Marine Corps, and then
mhm.
you're a Lance Corporal that's been there for 3 years, and you don't know everything about the Marine Corps, but you definitely know more than that motherfucker does.
Yeah, and it's like when you've deployed and
Hmm.
you've seen the practical breakdown of knowledge, like hey, we have all these knowledge and training drills for whatever for these complex amplitudes and IEDs and everything that. But when you've seen how things actually go when the shit goes down,
Yeah.
like, and you have somebody that all they know is like, oh, that's all we did is study, 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 and drill, 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 and all this other shit. It's like, bro, you don't know your ass from your elbow right now. Like
Yeah.
I've seen combat, and everything like that. And that was the thing where the good officers were able to humble themselves
Yeah.
and they were able to command authority because ultimately they had more authority than anybody there, but
Right.
they were able to lean on the counsel of the people that they had who knew better, in the sense like, hey, I know this stuff, like
Hmm.
the back of my hand because I'm fresh out of the Naval Academy, but you guys have done this stuff.
Yeah, how can I
So
implement it
how
with
do
this
we
unit and this
exactly
squad? You know?
so how can we marry those two things of, hey, there's some things we need to clean up, because SOP has changed and
Right.
recorders have changed and kind of our tactics have changed, also, but you have practical knowledge of actually dealing with I'm sorry, I don't know where I'm
It's
getting
okay.
all this mucus.
It's okay. Do you need to blow your
Um,
nose?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I got it, but I can just feel it.
You're good.
But yeah, so the practical knowledge versus the book knowledge. So a lot of good officers. I think that's why Lieutenant Culver, Captain Culver, didn't get shit on because from all the officers I've seen that came in, he didn't try to act like, oh, I'm hot shit. Like, guess
And
what?
people
Like me,
respect that
fucking
a lot.
look at my butter bars, like bitch,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
you know.
I'll put that shit on my pancakes,
Um,
sir. Shut the fuck up.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, yeah, go suck a dick. Like, leave me the fuck
Yeah.
alone. Um, but yeah. So those guys, great. They granted they got a lot more respect off the bat,
Definitely.
up front. Um, but yeah. But yeah, McGurry, he was solid. He was a solid guy. Lieutenant Culver, Captain Culver, definitely. I had him on my second deployment. He was a fourth platoon commander, and man, him and who did we get? It was Lieutenant Culver and we had Gunny Ramirez, Staff Sergeant Ramirez, Gunny now. It was Gunny when I got out. Staff Sergeant Ramirez, we had him, and then it went from him to Staff Sergeant Gray, who became Gunny Gray during that deployment.
Oh shit.
And man, they had their handful, dude. We got dude, literally fourth platoon was bastard platoon. It was all, dude. It was like, because basically what they did for our second, or was it no, our first
Mhm.
deployment. I misspoke on that one. Um, so we were preparing for trap, and mind you, we didn't know what trap was. Like we did an entire workup, and halfway through the workup, our mission changed. So like we were saying earlier, um, we were told that we were going to Afghan, and then we did our workup and everything like that. And like, oh yeah, by the way, Afghan got canked. We don't know what we're doing. And I'm like, okay, continue on with the workout as planned. I'm like, oh,
Like,
okay,
what's the
cool, whatever.
plan? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get to ITX, and they're talking about, oh, we might go to Dubai, and I'm like, train their like basically volunteer militia.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of rich dudes who just have a shit ton of money and they buy cool weapons and gear. Dude, it's basically like the Reserve National Guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you can make the National Guard more reserved than it actually is.
It's more.
Um, yeah, it's more. So that was on the table. So we were going to go to Dubai, and then that was off the table. And then we were like, oh, we don't know what we're doing. And then literally within like 2 months of us deploying, they're like, we're going to do trap. And we're like, what the fuck is that? And like, we don't know, but we're going to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they broke down our platoon. I'll get into trap later, but
Yeah.
so they broke down our platoon. So we, each company has 3 platoons. So basically they took a like squad, and they basically took like a fire team plus of guys. And for people who don't know, a fire team is 4 guys. So I took about like 5 or 6 guys from actually it's like around 5 or 6 guys from each platoon, and they put them into, and they took half weapons and sprinkled them into those platoons. Partially because we needed squads with a full fire support package. So we needed machine gunners, and we needed assault men, and we needed NJOs. We had JTACs with and everything. So I'll get into trap so it makes sense if people don't know what it is.
Right.
So trap is the tactical recovery of aircraft and aircraft personnel. So basically our job would be, if a bird went down in an AO, we would basically get all the information. They would send up their information. We would they'd plot it, map, and all the shit, give us some maps and shit, and they'd be like, hey, you got to go out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and go pick up this guy.
Yeah.
So I'll hop on a bird, go out there, secure the area, find the pilot if he ejected, if he didn't, find him, whatever and shit. Salvage classified material if we could. Most of the time we just blow. That's why we brought the engineers to just blow the motherfucker up so they can't salvage any classified material.
Yeah.
And then get on the bird, and Bob's your uncle. We're heading back to the FOB. So that was our mission. So yeah, we did need machine gunners. We did need assault men. We needed the full package.
Right.
So they split our platoon. So 4th platoon was bastard platoon. It was half of weapons and half of O311s. And the majority of the O311s were the shitbags, the platoons they wanted to get rid of for the deployment. So I remember, dude, they gave us all the dick beaters. They were just like, hey, this fucker, this shitbag there, and and then the remainder of weapons that was left was pretty much the shitbags of weapons.
Damn.
So we were just a bastard platoon.
Yeah.
So Lieutenant Culver got the shit end of the stick, dude. He got the worst, the worst group of people to command, but he did it well because he treated everybody with respect and dignity as a man. But he still had that command and authority, and the motherfucker was motivating. Like, he would charge us up for stupid shit. I remember we did a gas mask and flak run, and he motivated the shit out of us for that. Like, I remember I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And we're running around, dude. And we were running around, and you remember before Tent City was a thing, you remember that kind of corner sand lot by that barracks over there?
Yeah.
So, and for people who didn't go there, it was deep sand. And if you ever try to move around in deep sand, it's a bitch.
Sand.
And you think that sucks? Slap a flak on in boots, and then put a gas mask on and try to fucking run in that shit. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that was if anything, I would be okay with that being qualified as hazing. Like, I would really be okay with that being qualified as hazing. But dude, yeah, he didn't take some shit from us. And I think he did beat us down intentionally. He's like, hey, I run shit. Like, we're going to PP fucking hard, But he was cool, and he did a lot of extra shit for us. Like, he did a boxing class for us on deployment to kind of keep us occupied, and that was badass. Yeah, that was badass. And he was a cool guy. Like, he was a really cool guy. He was a great guy if you had shit going on. you could talk to him and it'd be man to man, you know. And I had a lot of good people. Staff Sergeant Geyer was a good example of that. Sergeant Geyer at the time, great guy, dude. Old head too, you know. Seen some. That guy was fucked up, dude. That guy
Yeah.
was fucked up. Like good guy, great guy, solid guy. You know, good guy to lean on. Like if you, you know, if you did your part and held your end as a man, treated you like a man. If you fucked up, I mean, he'd put you in your place. You know,
Yeah.
that's how a lot of people were. But Lieutenant Culver, that's how he was. I remember I had a lot of issues, you know, during deployment, and I was able to talk to him about what was going on, you know, home front and everything. And he would check, he checked up on everybody. He'd be like, you know, I
Oh,
remember I
that's
was on
cool.
duty. He'd be like, hey, McCorn. He's like, hey, McCorn, how's it going? Like, have you talked to your family recently? Like, how's things over there? How'd you,
Wow.
I had a fiance at the time. He's like, how'd your fiance? How things were going? Like, he would, you know, make sure that we were all, you know, that we were
Good.
good and
Yeah.
everything like that. Good leadership. You know, same thing with Major Kerrigan. Everybody, First Sergeant Teray, that motherfucker, dude. First Sergeant Teray was the shit.
For
That motherfucker
sure.
was crazy. Like, I'm still to this day. There's a good portion of me that is terrified of that man. Like, if I was just walking around, he's like, McCoy, what are you doing? I'm like, oh fuck, like what did I do on the side?
Doesn't that guy
Dude, I'm
know
at the
like
position of
crazy
attention.
martial arts and shit?
Dude, yeah, like that guy. You know, I think he had 2 red tabs on his black belt
I saw him
in
doing some
McMath.
kicking in the gym, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, and he did. I think he does.
I forgot what it is, but he's good at
Does
it
he
too.
do? Yeah, does he do? I'm trying to remember if he does.
I don't think it's Muay Thai. Um,
No, I think he's done Muay Thai though,
I believe it.
but he does. What's the one?
Is it
It's not. Why am I?
Taekwondo?
Why don't? No. Why do I want to say jujitsu? It's not
No.
jujitsu. It's what's the other one? It starts with a J. Um,
Genjutsu. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, jujitsu. Yeah, fuck it. But no, it's what are they called? A lot of people do it. Joe Rogan does it. A lot of people do it. It's a part of the MMA now. Um,
I can't remember.
it's gonna kill me. It's gonna fucking bother me. It has something with a J, not jujitsu.
Jay. Look at us
J.
trying to fucking figure this out.
Yeah, I know, like a bunch of fucking retards. Like,
What
um,
is it? I think I
man,
was a skilled man.
all I know. Yeah, no, yeah. I know he does that martial art with his kids and everything like that. But yeah, that motherfucker's crazy, dude. He told us some stories, man. That dude was like,
He got
this
shot a
guy
few
was like
times,
when he
didn't
got
he?
here. Yeah, dude. Like, Mo, I'm talking about his life before the Marine Corps was crazy. Like,
Oh
this
shit.
motherfucker
Okay.
was from Africa. Like,
Yeah.
he told us a story one time where he was like, he's like, we had to walk, a couple miles to school and everything like that, and on the way we'd get fucked with by this group of people, and they would like steal our stuff and everything like that. And I was like, I finally got sick of it, so I went to the market, bought a rusty machete and some acid. And next time they came after us, I splashed acid on them and chased them down with a fucking machete. I was like,
Jesus.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
A
Like this
true
guy was,
fucking survivor.
he was the truth. Yeah, he was the truth. And then he came to the Marine Corps and just like fine tune all those skills, and it was
Yeah.
real hard charging. Yeah, that guy's been in a hot minute. So that guy, he was a great guy too. He was all
He,
about the Marine Corps, loved the Marine Corps, but he'd
yeah.
take care of his guys. So that was the one nice thing, at least I could say, is my experience in 2-7 from being on the lower end. So from the company level down,
Mm-hmm.
we had great leadership. We had Captain Kerrigan at the time. All of our company leadership took care of us. Like they really did. First Sergeant Teray and Captain Kerrigan at the time, they took care of us whenever they could. Um, Battalion, dude, they couldn't care. They wouldn't give a rat's ass if we all got fucking killed in IDF and the Russians came in with the Spetsnaz and wiped out every. They wouldn't give a shit. They're like, oh, your leave's still
Didn't think you
denied,
got
and we're not
duty.
going to send you.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, they would come to the camp afterwards. Our bodies like find somebody who's alive and be like, because
And I think, yes, we're back. All right. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're
so
back.
talking about
We
so we're talking
were
about
talking about your leadership, how it was good
yeah
when it came to company level, and how battalion level they could fucking run you
yeah
over with the 6x and they won't give a fuck.
They
Um,
wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if they lost us out in the field. They're like, yeah,
yeah, they forget the Marine out there and like, ah, well, he was probably on fire watch out
yeah,
there, you know.
exactly. Like, well, he can secure the range until we come back.
Yeah.
Like, so we're not going back for another 2 months. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but man, there's coyotes
We'll
out
just
there.
airdrop.
There's those fucking turtles or whatever the fuck they are, tortoise, whatever the
Oh,
fuck.
the desert tortoise.
Yeah, the ones that stop everything. Um, all
So for
that
those of
shit.
you who if you don't know, and I don't know if it's mentioned. I mean, Remy might have mentioned this or
He
somebody
didn't. He
else.
didn't.
I didn't. Okay. So in 29 Palms, 20 Palms is one of the largest military installations in the United States. The largest Marine Corps base. Um, I think it is one of the largest installations because it's
I
like
think Marine
900
Corps
some
base for
odd.
sure because of the training grounds.
Yeah,
I've never. I don't
I
think I've
think
ever
it is
seen
one.
the end of the training grounds.
No, it's like 900 some odd miles
Yeah,
of just desert,
just
like
desert.
uninhabitable desert.
Yeah,
You know.
there's no way you're living out there.
Yeah, there's no natural way for you to live there.
No.
Like, everything out there in 20 is like artificially sustained.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so it's like 900 some odd miles of just nothingness.
it's
This base,
insane.
it used to be an army base, and then it was given to the Marine Corps. It used to be a naval base for naval what was it? It used to be a naval um basically firing range so they could fire naval guns off the coast and they would
Really?
just fire it. Yeah, if I can remember
I
correctly.
thought it was just an army
Um,
base, and then they were like, "This is non-habitable," and then the Marines were like, "Hey, we'll take it."
yeah, I mean that was a part of it too, but I think it used to be. I think the Army and the Navy used to use it.
That's
Um,
wild.
and then yeah, if I can remember correctly, I don't remember who I heard that from. I'd have to double check it.
From the coast. That's
Fact
some.
check me in the comments.
Yeah, yeah. If we're
um,
wrong, or if you know the actual
yeah, fact check me
story
in the
for the
comments.
salt dogs,
Yeah,
or
I'm curious to know.
yeah,
I'll probably forget about it,
I
after
am
this podcast because
curious.
I have ADHD. But yeah, so this training area, the whole thing. I mean, it's there's miles and miles and miles and
Ridiculous.
miles and miles of it. And there's a lot of wildlife that run around. And we got coyotes. We got crowadactyls. Those
Yeah. Crow
crowadactyls. Man, the
eagles,
crows are huge.
bald crow
Yeah,
eagles, dude. Holy fuck. Those things are huge.
the crowadactyl. I remember the first time one flew over my head. I thought somebody threw something at me, and I ducked because all I hear is. I was like,
Humongous.
whoa, yeah. These things are big. Like, how much does an MRE weigh?
I
Like
don't
what?
know.
5, 10 pounds?
Maybe 5, I think. Not 10
5
pounds.
pounds?
Yeah, maybe 5.
No, 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a crow. Like, I remember I was sitting on the catwalk. I was just doing something. I was just outside because it was cold in my room and whatever. And I was looking out towards the dumpster
No fucking way.
next to the parking garage. And then I just see, dude, I see a crow just like crowadactyl swoop in, like look around, that jumps in the trash, and then hops out with an entire unopened MRE and takes off.
Jesus. That dude about to get
Crowadactyls,
big.
bro, man.
They can
Yeah,
carry
that's why they were big. They
toddlers.
were just eating
Yeah,
MREs.
that's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
They'd be in our dumpsters just eating
Man, they were just
calorie-packed meals, dude, and they were just...
no natural predators, and you're eating nothing but calories. Like,
Yeah, nothing's gonna kill a crow that big. Not even cats are gonna
no,
try to go after a crow that big.
that thing's going after cats after a certain
Yeah,
point.
dude,
Like,
I bet. I bet. Those things were
but
ridiculous.
yeah, so the crowadactyls, and then we have the infamous desert tortoise, which is
Mm-hmm.
an endangered species.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime there was a sighting of a desert tortoise, per some whatever government ordinance, it was mandated that we cease fire, shut down a range,
Everything, yeah.
wait for it to pass, and then continue operations.
You couldn't pick it up
Fortunately, at
either,
least
right?
no, you couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't pick it up because it would like piss itself and like die.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
they were fragile. They were stupid fragile. And fortunately, I never experienced being stopped by
Same.
one of them. But yeah, it was just the infamous thing. It's like, oh, look out for the desert. Like, oh, hope a desert tortoise doesn't shut down our range today.
I never saw one, to
Um,
be honest.
yeah, I never saw one either. But
Coyotes
yeah,
suck
yeah, coyotes saw them coyotes all the time.
all the time.
Crowadactyls, yep, they were everywhere.
Definitely.
Yeah, snake spike scorpions, all the other stuff. Like,
Scorpions, like a motherfucker, camel spiders all over.
Do we have camel spiders out there?
Yeah, we have camel spiders for sure. For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never saw one, but thank
Oh,
God.
I saw
Like,
them often. Like, what the fuck? In Wilson.
I did
In
see.
Wilson, like crazy.
Oh, I did see one. It's okay. So
They're not as big
it's
as they are
not.
in the Middle East, but they're definitely
They're
still.
not camel spiders, but they're related. It's
Mm.
like this. Yeah, because I've seen one and I saw it do to creep. Yeah, creep them out because they got the little
It's
giant
got those.
inserts in the
They've
front.
got those four same
Yeah, dude.
pincers.
Yeah,
It's like teeth like
yeah,
this. It's fucking weird.
yeah. It's like yeah, it looks like that. They're kind of like on their mouth like that, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fucking. They're
they're
creepy.
creepy
They're creepy
looking
as
little
hell.
bastards.
Um, Yeah, so yeah, I did see one of those. So one of them was actually it was either outside or inside of my house. I remember I freaked out. I was like, no, I was the thing was big. Like this
Yeah.
thing was like that big. Like I grew up in the base I grew up at. Like we had wolf spiders and brown recluses all the time. Like to the point like these like wolf spiders not super deadly, but brown recluses like they'll mess you up.
Yeah.
We saw them. I'd see a brown recluse. I'd be like, get out of here. Like throw
Right.
something out. Like get out of here. Like leave me alone. We had those things all the time. I saw wolves. I saw wolf spiders, bro. I saw wolf spiders.
Jesus.
And that thing dwarfed the biggest wolf spider I've ever seen.
Oh
Like,
shit.
I was like, this thing is huge. I was like, oh man. I was like, man, I wish I had a gun in my house because I would have blown that thing to Kingdom Come. Like,
Yeah.
the what's it called? The dudes from the county police would have showed up. 12 hours later when they finally came over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we heard about shooting. I was like, yo, there was one of the spiders in my house. They're like, all right, no, let's go check out. All right, we'll see you later. Like, when,
Yeah.
I was like, well, did you kill it? Yes. Okay, cool. Hey, here's a medal from the city.
Yeah,
We appreciate
you get a whole
it.
medal for killing a spider. It's like fucking Tremors and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
dude. Yeah, those things were terrible. But yeah, desert tortoises.
Yeah,
Um,
I had heard that the people who had went to Afghanistan and shit like that brought camel spiders back to California because they would climb in our gear and then we would
oh
just
yeah,
bring
and
them
they,
back
that would
over
make
and
sense.
then populate it into that desert, which is the perfect habitat for them because that's
Oh yeah,
where they come
yeah.
from.
Camel spiders are Satan's gift to the world.
Yeah,
These
it's
things are
fucked up.
terrifying. I remember I did some research before we went over to Kuwait. They can run like
Fast. I've seen
yeah,
them.
like 15 miles an hour
They're
or
fucking
something. Like
fast.
they screech.
They do.
Yeah, they
I
screech
burned one
at
alive.
people.
Yeah.
Did you? They
The
just screech.
screeching. Yeah, dude. I was like, jeez. Yeah. Burned it at
Fuck
Wilson.
that, bro.
And I was like, oh my God.
And so
It was
they're
like, yeah, it was
like,
like, and I was like, oh my
oh,
goodness.
oh, like, oh, like no, like I
Yeah,
need to
no.
live far away from wherever you exist. Like,
Yeah.
take me as far away as you can. But yeah, so those things are terrifying.
They lift like their front legs when they're chasing
Yeah, they
something.
lift their front legs when they run, and they like wave them around. They can
They
run
chase
really
your
fast.
shadow, I think
They
it is.
chase you.
Yeah.
They will chase you, not like, oh, let me run until you're away from where I'm at. Like, no, they will chase you down. Those things are insane. And then yeah, the one in Afghanistan, they're huge.
Oh,
Like
I
they're
bet.
absolutely huge. I've seen we watched you pulled up pictures of them and whatever, and I was like, dude, holding a leg, and it was just like huge, like a
Jesus
giant spider,
Christ.
And so what they do is, do you know how their like venom works or how
No.
they eat?
Mm-mm.
So what they'll do is they'll bite you, and their venom has a numbing agent, and they'll just snack on you, like, and you can't feel it.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they call them camel spiders because that's what they do to the camels. They come up to a camel, bite it, and
Numb it and then they fucking go to town.
numb it, and then just snack on them.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. So those things are Satan's gift to the world, man. Those things are. There's some animals I'm just like,
No thanks.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Like why
Like
are
why?
you around?
Like a bear.
Yeah.
Why?
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 Why do they need to make something that agile, fast, and fucking strong and
Like 900 pounds, what is it, grizzly Kodaks, or what, like 1,000 pounds?
one smack, you're
just-
dead. And if you're
Exactly,
not dead,
just-
it'll hold you down and eat you from the stomach. Like it won't even kill
Yeah,
you. It'll
like-
just chew on you.
No, bears will eat you alive. Like, I don't care. They eat like large animals alive. Like, I don't care. It's like, hey, it's mealtime.
That's one
But
thing. I'm
it's
terrified
camel
of.
spiders are on that list of just like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Why does that need to exist?
And everything in Australia. apparently.
Yeah, everything like that. They
Yeah.
just everybody. Like I know it'd be inconvenient, and there's a lot of history there, but everybody needs to leave the island,
And we can just,
and we'll just nuke it.
yeah, just torch
You
it.
know, just glass
And then
it.
they get like fucking radiated spiders like in Fallout, and then they're just gonna be huge. Just
And then yeah, it's just an island of just all these crazy creatures that they go back,
yeah,
and yeah, like 100-foot spiders,
it's gonna
and
be some Jurassic Park sort of shit,
and like that snake from Anaconda,
Yeah,
the was it the Blood Diamond or whatever, that
this
giant snake,
huge snake. Yeah,
dude, that movie. I never watched that movie. I saw the trailer. That freaked me out
I
so
saw it when
much.
I was
Like
younger, the
especially
older
that
one.
the newer one that they made.
I never saw
It
the
was
newer
like
one.
I didn't either, but I remember like I was watching movies and you know how the trailers be on the
Yeah.
movies and they play the trailer and I remember there's this one scene where they're I don't remember what they were doing. Either they were walking in the water or they were on like on a boat, but like it's it's a top down shot and you could see the snake moving and they have no idea it's there.
Oh,
And this thing is
underwater.
like yeah, and this thing is like probably like my arm, like weight around. Like this thing is like I could probably wrap my arms around it and still not touch my fingers. Like that's how big this thing
Jesus
is.
Christ.
And they're just walking, I'm just like, this is why I will never go to any place like this. This is why I won't go to the Amazon. This is why I won't go to Australia. This is why I don't want to go to any of these foreign countries because you have creatures that don't need to be existing right now.
Yeah, they'll fucking
And the
eat
fact
you.
that you haven't led a campaign to eradicate them is troublesome. you know?
Yeah, for reals. Like polar bears fuck shit
Oh
up
man.
too. Polar bears are massive.
Yeah, polar bears fucked it up. Man,
Yeah,
they're assholes to seals, man. I've seen them fuck up seals. I'm like, damn, dude. Like,
I heard
I
there's.
get it, because it's rough out in the streets, but like,
It's the
come
streets
on,
out
guy.
there.
Like,
Out there is the streets for sure.
yeah, man,
Survival of the
it's rough
fittest.
out here.
Oh yeah, it's no joke out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get back to this shit. Um,
yeah,
enough about bears and fucking camel
yeah.
spiders and shit.
Camel
Um,
spiders. That's where we got off the
these
trailer.
motherfuckers.
Got
Um,
chased off the topic by a camel spider.
seriously, it's all good though. Um,
Yeah.
would you say that you what would you say are some things that you got out of the Marine Corps or just the military in general? Like, what would you say were some good things and possibly some bad things besides bad habits and
Yeah, there was So how I described my Marine Corps career was this the best worst 4 years I've ever had. There were a lot of benefits. I got to do a lot of cool things. I met some fucking heroes. And then there was a lot of bullshit.
yeah.
And whether that was specific to Zeus Heaven or the military in general, I guess the world will never know. Because I didn't bother to reenlist and try to try again somewhere else. Um, but I got a lot of survival skills, discipline. The biggest thing is like, that accomplishment. I challenged myself joining the Marine Corps, passing boot camp. I saw people who didn't.
Yeah.
I went through SOI, passed SOI. I saw people who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I went through my career, didn't get in trouble. None of the stuff. I saw people who did. I saw people got kicked out. Barrios, he got kicked out. There was a bunch of people who got kicked
A
out
few
while I was
people.
in.
Yeah.
For stupid stuff, for drugs and
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of stupid stuff. I remember there was a kid who I went to SOI with that got to where I was at, and before the leave block had ended, this guy was already on restriction because
Wow.
he was huffing like what was it air dusters in his room.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and the duty would check up on the boots. Obviously they were there, and like I guess he like walked in on him huffing paint or huffing something, and then
Jesus.
I got in trouble with that. And the second time, and the dude was on restriction. By the time everybody got back, and then they called him a second time because he was supposed to check in and he never checked in. So they went up to his room, and he had huffed something again and passed out and like hit his head on something, was like bleeding and everything. I was like, dude, the guy washed
What the
out.
fuck? He's
He
done.
washed out before we even did our first field op in the fleet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you think you think he already had issues with it, or you think he just wanted to get the fuck out?
I think he wanted to get the fuck out, honestly.
Yeah.
Because like one time, you know, That's like, okay, you got caught slipping.
Yeah.
But twice while you're on restriction? No, he was just trying to leave.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
kind
trying
of
to
like
get
those
out
guys
there.
who smoke weed. Who was it? Those guys that were smoking weed on purpose, trying to get out. Do you remember that?
There was Loaiza, I think. No, not Loaiza. Longoria, I think.
Is that Longoria? Is
He
some?
got kicked out for something. I don't remember what he got kicked out. Murillo got kicked out.
It was like a group of
Um,
guys that were smoking weed, and they even told the sergeant major, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna fail this test," and they did end up getting kicked out, but they were just like, and
I don't remember. Yeah,
they were giving him a lot of slack. To be honest, I was like, "What the fuck? Are they just like?"
yeah.
I'm surprised they're allowing them to take another drug test, and then sure enough, they
Yeah.
they kick them out. But they don't fuck around when it comes to
Maybe it's.
drugs
I think it's protocol. Like you have to do another one to make sure
to make sure
double
that
check.
yeah
But yeah, so there's a lot of people washed out, and I was still standing. I got out, did my time and everything like that. So there's that accomplishment. Nobody can take that from me. Like
yeah
I did that. I did that. Learned a lot of cool skills. Got to do a lot of cool stuff. Um, you know, but there was like, me and my dad we were actually talking about earlier today. Um, the kind of the pros and cons and the cost versus reward nowadays when it comes to the military. And I was telling him, I was like, realistically and honestly, in good faith, I can't advocate anybody join the military nowadays.
yeah
Um, because like we had talked about last time, there's you deal with a lot of shit while you're inside.
yeah
There's a lot of bullshit, and then you come out, and it's like, you know, what do you have to show for it? You know, like yeah, you got your rank, you got your deployments and stuff like that,
you
but
get your honorable
yeah, yeah, but out here, like it doesn't really mean shit.
no
Yeah, there are benefits to being a veteran. Some job priorities. There
sure
are
you get the
benefits.
GI
Like I'm not gonna
Bill
say
you get the GI Bill
yeah, there's
but
a lot of benefits, but like the toll it takes on your body
yeah
and
it's
your
rough
mind. And nowadays, like if it was back in the day and shit was actually going on, I'd be like, yeah, if you want to do that, because I feel like personally, I feel like I'm way too fucked up for not doing shit. You know,
yeah
like I feel like I should have actually seen some action to be as fucked up as I am.
yeah
Um, so there's the cons. Like my body's pretty fucked up. I'm 40% disability. I'm 26. Um, I'm uncovering a litany of mental health issues. Post fact, whether those were induced or exacerbated by the Marine Corps, who knows? But hey, they're footing the bill now because fuck them. So. Um, Because I told my little brother this when he joined the military. I was like, dude, milk them for everything they're worth because they're gonna milk you for everything you're worth.
yeah they do
They're
they get
they're gonna
everything out of you
they're
for
gonna
sure
yeah they're gonna squeeze your bones until they bleed. So take advantage of every opportunity you have. Like don't feel bad, taking advantage of this because you're paying for it with
yeah
your time away from your family, with your body,
with your
with your
youth
mind.
yeah
Fuck them. Take them for everything they're worth. Everything they'll give you, take it. I told him, I was like, you're not gonna. I was like, you got to. I was like, you better come out that motherfucker with your education. Like, I don't
yeah
give a shit if I was like, I don't give a shit if it's an underwater basket weaving. Get your degree. Had I learned about tuition assistance before the end of my contract, I would have done that.
I
Um,
don't think 27 would allow it.
yeah, there's that too.
I don't think 27 would allow
Um,
it, even if you knew. Maybe one
yeah,
person, and you could have been that one person, but I just don't think
yeah.
the mission was too
No,
important.
and yeah, and I agree. I agree. There was a lot of what 27 was doing to intentionally or unintentionally, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know.
Mm.
Some of it is just the Marine Corps. Some of it is 2-7.
Right.
You know, we can get in and split, separate which one's which. But yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a certain aspects of 2-7 that wouldn't let you,
No.
pursue anything outside. So there was that thing being kind of stuck with a shitty command,
Mm-hmm.
and it really discouraged me from pursuing the rest of it. Because I was really on the fence on whether I was going to do. Um, my four and get out or continue on. And it was funny. My goal when I joined, I was like, I want to outrank my dad when he got out because he got out of the Navy. He was like E6 or E7. I was like, I want to outrank my dad before I got
Damn.
out. Then I got to boot camp and everything. I was just like, you know what? I think I just want to pick up sergeant. Like that'll be good. Then I got to the fleet, and I was like, dude, I'll be lucky if I fucking pick up lance. Like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I'm just like, fuck. I'll be lucky if I pick up lance and hold on to it. Like they're really out here trying to,
Oh, they're out here taking
trying to kill
things.
y'all. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a witch hunt.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
so yeah, so and a lot of what I experienced kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It didn't. Let's put it like this: like I wasn't going to let my experience, like I hated the phrase, but it's kind of true. It's like, oh, this unit isn't the entire Marine Corps, which is true.
Yeah.
But it came down to: is this worth the risk? Is this worth? How am I going to handle potentially dealing with another 2-7? You know, like
I
if I
don't know.
cross deck, if I went to another unit or I went to another branch altogether,
Yeah.
could I deal with could I deal with being obligated to another 4 years of dealing with 2-7? You know, no, I couldn't. I was like, it's not worth the risk because that's
Not
a
2-7.
50-50. And ultimately for me, when I was getting out, I barely picked up corporal. So I was like, you got this, this one enlistment corporal, you know, like you don't have any weight to throw around to be like, oh yeah, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to be a scout
Yeah.
sniper or something like that. I was like, you're not gonna get that, because they're gonna go through all the list of people who want these certain things, and they're gonna be like, okay, this guy's been in like 50 years. Obviously, he's the first
Yeah.
choice, and so on and so forth, and the rank and all this other stuff. I'm on the bottom of the list. They're gonna give me whatever they want, because I had talked to Staff Sergeant Sandoval. He was the
Old
Jesus, he was
Sandoval.
a careers guy, and
Yeah.
he was trying to talk me into reenlisting like a motherfucker. Like he was just like, dude, reenlist. He's like, dude, we could hook you up. It'll be great. And I was like, Staff Sergeant, I know you'll take care of me. I know you'll do everything in your power to, give me the right paperwork, give me a good deal and everything like that. But it's
Yeah.
not up to you, unfortunately. We both know that. It's up to headquarters Marine Corps. I was like, and at the time, I was a Lance. I was like, I'm going to barely pick up corporal. I have no bargaining power here. Like,
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, I'm going to get shafted. I was like, because he threw out that, what was it? I can't remember the name of it. But it was like, you're an active duty person who works with reservists. And so, yeah, dude. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, we could set you up in your home. You could go back home and you could still be in and all this stuff and like report
Hmm.
to a reserve unit and everything. I was like,
Oh,
that sounds amazing.
he almost got you.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds amazing. But you can't guarantee that to me, can you? He's like, no, not really. I was like, see, that's the problem. I need
Yeah.
guarantees. I need that in writing. I need that signed off by headquarters Marine Corps that this
That's
is
it.
going to happen,
Yeah.
and there's no possibility for change. They can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that. I was like, it's not worth it. So I would say, yeah, 2-7 had a lot to do with 2-7 itself, or the chain of command, the upper chain. It was funny because our first deployment, lower chain of command, company level and under, leadership was pretty solid for the most part. Once we got back and everything flipped, then it was battalion was awesome. The line terrible. Like I remember because I had got moved to the S3, and we can get into the whole my journey to the Marine Corps.
Hmm.
But I got moved to the S3, and so I wasn't in the line. I wasn't in the line company anymore. I was with H&S. And I remember just hearing, man, they would come talk to me and like, dude, we're getting fucked. Like this and that. And, like these guys are shitty and all this stuff. And I was like, I believe it. It's like I believe it. It's like sucks to suck, and I was like, "There's me, nestled right under Major K's wings, just like, oh
Yeah.
yes, I'm so safe here, like
Yeah. This is great.
But yeah, yeah. So I would say, there's like with anything, there's pros and cons. I don't regret it,
Of course.
but I wouldn't advocate people do it nowadays. Um, just because like there's nothing going on. What the hell are we doing over there anyways? We
Especially
shouldn't
right
be
now.
there.
There's
Yeah,
really. I mean,
exactly.
what really sucks is for the people who were over there when like post 9/11, and who did go over there, whether it be the actual correct reason that we went over there, or
Hmm.
whether it was just to control that part of the world. But it sucks because those guys lost a lot of friends, right? Those guys lost a
Yeah.
lot of friends, and they lost them by taking over these specific locations in Iraq, by invading Iraq, basically.
Mm,
And then
yeah.
we backed out, and then it got taken over by ISIS, and then we had to
Mm,
go back in there again, and we necessarily didn't do shit besides bomb them and just take care of the contractors. But like,
yeah.
is that what we're just gonna do again? Is it just gonna be a repeating cycle, or like, what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna leave that part of the world alone? Like, what is the next
Yeah.
step? You know, like,
And that's
what is gonna do right by the guys that were over there already? I mean, it's obviously too late for
and
them
that's the
now.
thing. And that's the thing too is, and we can get into all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of history and stuff I've learned, and dude, just the shady shit our government's done and like lied to a lot
Yeah,
of us, and that's so shady. Like, how do you tell that? Like you said, you had that guy, the guy amputee on there.
yeah,
How do you tell him that the country he loved, his government lied to him,
yeah,
and and threw all these kids into a circumstance that they basically created, and like you said, they lost a lot of friends. He
yeah.
he lost,
A lot.
his legs,
Yeah,
and I know people who got shot, stabbed, blown up, all this other stuff. And like, how do you tell those people that your sacrifice was on for nothing, that it
yeah.
was all a lie, that it was all, and that's a tough situation to be in.
Oh,
I was
super
thinking
tough.
about it. Like, I kind of do want to write a book about that, kind of like delineating the history and then kind of, trying to find a way. It's like, how do, because that's something I want to do is like talk to the vets and be like, look, we need to come together on this issue and have a united force to stop it sending our kids over there.
Yeah.
For
For
what?
pointless
Like,
shit,
why?
at least, you know.
Yeah, it's like, for what? Why are we sending these people over here? Whether and there's a lot of stuff, and I mean, I'll give you a lot of these sources after the fact. Uh, but going in after 9/11 was bullshit.
Yeah,
All
that's what
these
I
all
heard.
and actually, it's even more fucked up, dude. This goes back. That's so fucked up, dude. This goes back to World War I.
Hmm.
World War I, dude, was bullshit. The reason why we were involved was bullshit.
Oh,
It was
like the
our
reason why
government.
United States got into it?
Yeah,
And what was
like
the initial reason? What was it? Wasn't it that
it
Germany
was
shot a ferry or something like that that had like American citizens on it, right? Something like that?
no
Or was that
or
yeah,
yeah,
that's
they
what it
shot
was.
the I can't remember the name of the boat, but what was bullshit about it was the Germans knew that the Americans were using that ship as a supply ship. They knew. They knew about it.
Mm.
And they even took out ads in like a local newspaper telling people not to travel on that ship because they knew it was a military vessel and they were planning on taking action against it. So the Germans warned these people about it, and then they suppressed the information and was like, "Oh no, everything's fine. Like, book your tickets, everything like that."
Right.
Basically, putting all those people out there to get killed so they could have a justification to get involved.
Sure.
Um,
I can see that,
so
but don't you think those like World War I and World War II, don't you think regardless of like what little reason, for example, it's not like that it's a little reason, right? But it's like
mhm.
they were trying to use that as the staple reason, but don't you think eventually it would have gotten to the point where Germany, whatever it was doing, you know how Germany was obviously not doing the correct thing. Um, don't you think we were eventually going to get dragged into that war, kind of like World War II?
No. And World War II, I mean, World War II, same thing. Like, okay, ask yourself this, like, and that's what, and something never really, based on the history that we were taught, and something never really sat well with me. Why on God's green earth, knowing full and well what we are capable of, would Japan, in the middle of World War II,
Hmm.
America's not involved. America has no plans to be involved as far as public doesn't want it. Our administration is isolationist. They're not, we're not about it, right? Knowing that, what sense does it make if a country is not giving you any indications of getting, prepping for war, getting involved with it, anything like that, would you preemptively attack them, especially an enemy that that surpasses you in
Right.
a lot of different capabilities? Technologically, we're a lot better. Our training
Well,
was a lot better.
they had better. They had
Um,
better. They had better planes than we did.
they did have better
They
plays. I'm
had
not saying
better.
everything was better, but we had
We had bigger
a lot.
industry than them for sure, and we could
Yeah,
feed a war longer.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So why would a country, knowing it was a zero sum game,
I don't know.
go out of their way and attack another country? You know why? Because we put a bunch of sanctions on Japan, basically
Oh, that's right.
strangling their economy.
That's right.
Yeah, so provoking them,
Because
and
they
then
were
on
they
top of
were
that,
because they were invading China, right? Weren't they fucking murdering hella people in China? The Japanese, like just killing
that
and.
was that was the excuse that they used, but it was for, especially for the administration at the time.
Mhm.
It was an isolationist. Like we were isolated. It was what, Eisenhower. Like we weren't worried about what the world was doing.
Sure.
Nobody cared. Like we were, so sanction. They levied a bunch of sanctions that was basically strangling the Japanese economy, and then on top of that, Pearl Harbor
Hmm.
was a setup.
That's what I heard
We
too.
set
I
that up.
heard that we saw like them on radar, and they thought it was something else. They thought it
No,
was
it's
like.
even worse than that. So, um, first of all, the um, all the ships were moved to Pearl Harbor under the under heavy scrutiny and countered by Seduso by a lot of generals who are like, this is stupid. Why would we move all of our ships, the majority of our naval capacity, into one spot? This is an easy target. This is a sitting duck. I can't remember all the people who were behind it. I'd have to, like I said, I would have to look up the source stuff.
Yeah.
But so they put all the boats, all of our ships and all the stuff, concentrated a lot of the military power in one spot, right? On top of that, even earlier before we were getting involved with it, um, we had, I think, spies who had recovered a Japanese purple cipher. Do you know what that is?
No.
Japanese purple cipher was basically a machine that they used to encrypt their messages and everything. So we
Okay.
had one of those machines. So we were able to decrypt Japanese communications, all of them. We had it early on before we even got involved. Before Pearl Harbor, we had gotten encrypted messages saying that they were planning on attacking Pearl Harbor, multiple ones. They were told to ignore them. On top of that and everything, like Shannon Grant
And you
gave,
have like sources, right? And you have like.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I can give you stuff on that. And there is known, it is a common knowledge that the watch commander who got the message, he waved it off. He's like, this is probably stupid. Like, this is probably nothing anyway.
Right.
Was it I think like the night before or something. Um,
Sure.
so that was a setup. So, sacrificing all those people's lives just so we can get involved in the war that we didn't really have a dog in the fight. Like,
Do
we
you not
didn't.
think? Do you not think we should have gotten involved in that war?
Um,
In my personal opinion, I think we should have. From what was going
um,
on in Europe, I think we should have. My opinion, of course.
it's, yeah, and it's hard to say, it's hard to say because, and it's kind of been this slippery slope ever since because, like,
Sure.
okay, we get involved in this situation because, like, shitty people are doing shitty shit all around the world. How much of it do we get involved with?
I just think
You
that
know,
was too
and
much. I think that was just to a level where it's not like one country, right? It's not like just Iraq. It's like Germany is invading everything in Europe. Like they're just running through countries, like just boof, 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 boof. They have an agreement with
yeah,
Russia that they're not gonna hit each other, and then they made it to the end. They took France, and they're fucking just right there. They just need to take Britain, right, or England. Um,
hmm
they send a letter to Mexico trying to get the Mexican country. Did you hear about that? How they send a letter
I
to
think, yeah,
they
they
sent
were
a
trying
letter
to
to
get
Mexico
the
that we stopped saying, if you attack the United States, we'll support you in the war, and then we'll feed you all this, blah 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 blah.
hmm
And I think Mexico was like, no, like
No,
no,
you're not trying to die.
yeah,
Yeah, we
like
got to deal with these people afterwards,
shit, no way,
Um,
dude.
but yeah, so the it's a hard question. because
Hitler was kind of
I
crazy,
mean,
dude.
yeah, he was kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, um, the way he operated, I mean, his downfall was imminent, whether we got involved or not. Because he was fighting a war on three frontiers. He was fighting the Russians. He was fighting the British. He was fighting the British, obviously.
Kind of fighting the British.
In
They were
Europe,
kind of
and
just
then and Africa. He was fighting a war on three fronts.
Africa for sure. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, should we have gotten involved? It's hard to say. It's
Sure.
hard to say, in
We
my
weren't
opinion.
around in that
Because
time
there's
either,
there's a moral argument, and I agree. There's a moral argument. And it's like, like, at what point do we sacrifice our people? For something like that, because we lost a shit ton of
Oh
people.
yeah.
In that.
Yeah, we did.
Not saying these people weren't ready to go for it. I mean, because we're all kind of like
Oh,
that.
there was kids
Everybody
ready
was
to go for
full
it.
aware what
Yeah.
was going on, the potentials and dangers and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we should have gotten involved or not. I don't know. And it kind of I would have to, seeing how as I've kind of uncovered how much revisionist history is out there and how much shit they're not telling us. I would have to get the full picture of everything
Sure.
to kind of see, whether that was something we should have been involved with or not. But we were, and this kind of led into us getting involved with all
Now
these
it's
other countries and
sketchy.
all these.
Yeah. Vietnam
Yeah,
was
now it's
useless, I think, and it's fucked up that all those guys had to go and that people got
yeah,
drafted. I think a lot of
yeah.
we've
Vietnam
been
was a
involved.
train wreck.
Yeah,
Afghanistan was a train wreck.
unfortunately.
Everything we've done in the Middle East since what you know the '90s,
The 90s, yeah.
it's been a train wreck. There was no reason for us to get involved in anything in the Middle East. There's no reason for us to get involved in Vietnam.
Oh,
Because that was just that was, that was just
still,
bad.
yeah.
Um, what was crazy is that so our involvement in the Middle East was exactly what Osama bin Laden wanted.
Oh, really?
He is, yeah. There's documented proof of him saying that he like telling basically laying out his plan and us falling for it perfectly because he was like, we need to. Basically, what they were going to do and what they did was what they did to the Russians and what we did to support them fighting the Russians. We gave them weapons and stuff to fight off the Russians. But you know what they did? They sucked them in, right? And then they just gave them hell. And they bled like the war in Afghanistan for Russia was partially why the USSR fell apart because they bled them dry by having them pump a bunch of money into trying to, take over this territory. And
That
they
wasn't
just
gonna
kept,
happen. Yeah.
yeah, they just kept taking them out and everything. We supported them. And Osama bin Laden basically said the same thing. He's like, we need to give, Americans, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing we did to the Americans, to the Russians, because of all the stuff we had done to them, because we supported them and then we turned our backs on them and all the crazy stuff. And dude, it's nuts. Like, I'll send you,
Why did
I
Russia
got to send you some of
invade
this material.
initially? I don't. Do you know?
I don't remember.
Because I
Probably
know they
oil.
were in there. I
you
just
know,
don't remember why they were in there.
Yeah,
And
I
I know
have
they
no
got
idea. I can't
smoked.
remember why the Russians went in there. I have no idea. Like, but then again, why did we go into Vietnam?
Right. Well, Cold War.
Yeah, like but really, I don't know the reason why we went to Vietnam. I have no idea. I'd have to look it up. I couldn't tell you
Influence.
off the top of my head.
Influence
World
people.
War.
It was because of. It was because
Yeah,
to prevent the Communist Party spread. That's all it was, right? I don't think there was any other reason besides that. I think it was to
yeah.
prevent. It was during the Cold
Well,
War, and it was to
that's
prevent the spread of
so.
communism.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I'm not saying that's
What do you
valid.
think would? Yeah, but if like let's just say that's the case. Like, okay, so what's the difference between World War One and World War Two, or in Vietnam in that sense? World War Two and Vietnam because we went in to stop the Nazis from expanding.
No, I think that's way different. I think the
You think
Nazis
so?
were. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think that's way different. I think the Nazis were murdering people by the masses, because they wanted to make a specific example of a person,
Hmm.
um, and they wanted. I think their overall goal, and I don't know this. Obviously, this is just me speaking.
Hmm.
I think their overall goal was them wanted to at one point, you know, control the globe. I think. Um,
Oh yeah, no, the world domination was definitely something they were aiming
Yeah,
for.
and I think it
And they were
was,
gonna start with Europe.
and yeah, and
Uh,
they were about there. It's not even
yeah.
like they were. that
Well,
close. I think if they would have waited a year or two to start, because they were more technologically advanced, they had a lot more
mhm,
seasoned fighters. They were this
mhm,
close to the nuke before we got,
yeah,
before we got to them. If they would have waited, gotten the nuke, they would have shit on us and they would have won. Like it would have been
yeah.
hard to get to beat them in that territory. And I think that's the big difference when it comes to Vietnam and World War II. They were murdering people by
Mhm.
ridiculous
I mean, that's
amounts.
fair, but you could have the same argument for the Viet Cong and the Chinese that were, in there and everything with Vietnam. It's like you could make the same argument. I was just curious on what you would think the difference was. And like I
Yeah,
said, we don't even have a solid foundation of what the real reason was we were
right,
even in Vietnam. So
right.
it's kind of, like,
This is just talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um,
So
but yeah,
people
but back to the
don't take this anything
yeah, exactly.
to heart, or this is
And like I
just
said, I mean, do
talking.
your own research. There's a few people you can look up. If you look up a YouTube channel, no, the guy's name is Scott Horton. Um, yeah, Scott Horton. He is. I'm trying to remember what he does. I've seen him. He's had a few interviews with the guy. I watch his show, and he's talking about just kind of the legacy of the government and
Shady,
the military industrial
shady. Well,
complex.
there was a president
And
who
the
warned,
prevention.
who was the president who warned us about the military industrial complex? Who was it?
Oh,
Um,
was it? It wasn't Hoover, was it? It was
no, 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 no. I don't think it was Hoover. It was
was it Kennedy?
no, it wasn't Kennedy. Who was it?
Roosevelt?
It might have
Um,
been Roosevelt. No, not Roosevelt.
maybe
After Roosevelt, who's after Roosevelt? Was it? Is that Hoover?
Teddy
No,
Roosevelt. No,
I don't remember. But some president
yeah,
was like,
no,
"Yo,
no. There
be
was.
careful because companies are gonna or people who have these companies are gonna want to use the military to make money out of this."
Hmm.
And boom, KBR, boom, all these
Yep.
contractors getting multi-million-dollar. And I'm not disagreeing with you with the fact that
Hmm.
we're in there for the wrong reasons right now. I
Hmm.
think it's bullshit that the government is paying these companies millions of dollars to do jobs that they train service members to do, and they pay the service members ass. I think that
Yeah.
is absurd, and I think we need to do away with that. I think you need to pay
Yeah. Definitely.
the military people more to do the jobs that
Hmm.
you're paying those motherfucking subcontractors.
Or how about this? Or I'd be okay with this. Use the contractors. Get us the fuck out.
Boom, there it is, and that wouldn't even be a
Like what the
military.
hell? Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Like if such a big thing, it's like if you're, I mean, you're letting contractors do the stuff that we'd be doing
well, they do
anyway. So
everything but
you
the
know,
dirty work. They do
yeah.
everything but like going out and clearing cities, or they don't
Hmm.
do that part. They they'll be your generator techs. They'll be your
Hmm.
cafeteria staff. We have cooks in the fucking Marine Corps who do that.
Yeah.
They'll be your supply
Well, yeah,
cats.
well, but even with the dirty work, I mean, they hire, they got black ops
Sure,
mercs on the low,
sure,
running with soft and everything
but
like
not
that. Like, then
mass. Not like big numbers. Like
that we know of,
sure, not that we know of, right? Or whatever.
because how much of the soft stuff did you know about? Like, I would hear whispers about MARSOC doing stuff and SEALs and
Right,
and
barely. You
and
barely hear about
what's it
anything.
and PJs and stuff like that. But like there's I'm not, yeah, like we don't know, but I'd be willing to bet that there's a large sum of money that not only in those contractors but weapon manufacturing,
Oh, totally,
the munitions,
totally.
vehicles, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a whole huge thing. So the fact that a lot of the stuff that we're doing, have been doing, even like I said, back to World War I. And I think it was around World War I where he said that be careful of the military industrial complex because,
It might have
like you
been
said,
after
they're gonna
World War
want.
One. It might have been after World War
Yeah,
One. I wish I remembered. It's kind of bothering me.
yeah. No, I feel you because like we were trying to remember what that form of martial arts was earlier, and
Yeah,
I still can't for the life of me think of it. Um,
but
but
they
yeah,
said
so.
that, and it's clear now what is
Mhm.
happening, and it's
Yeah, and a lot
that's
more. Yeah, and that's the shitty thing, is that how and that's partially why I say to a lot of people, it's like I can't really advocate, you join and be a part of that because yeah, there is, there's honor and legacy and all that stuff in
right.
there, and there's that sense of purpose and like that was, me. Like, I joined because I love this country and I wanted to serve my country. Like, not the government, but like, bump them. I
Yeah.
didn't give a rat's ass about them, but like, I wanted to serve the
The
country.
country, yeah.
And so you have a lot of people like me who just wanted to serve the country, and we got
Yeah.
used, we got manipulated, we got lied to, to go over and lose our friends, lose our family, lose, all that stuff. And it's like, man, how do you deal with that? How do you come to? I'm still wrestling with it now. Especially once I give you that more information and stuff to chew on. Man, it's hard, it's rough, dude. I was sitting there, I was like, it's a lot to chew on. It's a lot to sit there and think about.
Yeah.
Like, damn. And but the thing that's reassuring in the sense of like, I'm just as much as a victim as the people of Afghanistan, as the
Yeah.
people of Iraq and Syria and all these other places. Like, I was lied to. We were,
I think everybody's
you
lied to.
know yeah, we were lied to. We were sent over there under false pretenses, and it's just like, that's kind of fucked up. And it's like, that's why I've said this before, and and maybe like to a degree, I think there's a certain part of the American people that gives a shit about vets, but for the most part,
Mm.
I mean, they don't fucking care. And the
Yeah.
government sure shit doesn't give a shit about us,
Yeah.
Because why would you send people over,
I forgot
when
who
you
I
know it's
told
bullshit?
this. I told this to somebody on the podcast. I was like, it's like fake patriotism. Patriotism. Like
Yeah,
they like to pretend that they, oh, yeah, I support veterans. Like it's a big, it's like a cool thing almost. I don't know how
it's
to describe it, but it's like
yeah, it's what I would describe it as. It's one of those things like, you don't want to be the person who doesn't support
you
vets.
don't want to be the person who does it. Yeah, you don't want to be the
Yeah,
guy in the room that's like, fuck them. You don't want to be
yeah,
that guy. And don't get me
yeah,
wrong, I'm not saying that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, neither
because
am I,
bruh, you know,
but
but
you don't want to be that person. You don't want to
yeah,
be the odd man out
but I
who's like,
don't
oh yeah,
think it's
because
legit. I don't.
everybody, because that's the one thing is like, people get touchy when you say like, oh, when people talk about the war, people start to get touchy,
Sure,
and like, what, you don't support the troops? It's like, like with me, like, I don't support the war. Of course, I support my boys in uniform.
of
I don't
course.
support the military industrial complex. I don't
No way.
support the government. I don't support our large military.
Right.
I support my boys in uniform.
Fuck yeah.
Same thing with the police. Like, I support the officers.
Yeah.
I don't support the police as an organization, the militarized police force that we have now. I don't support that. So
Yeah.
you can, two things can be
You can
true
see
at
it
once.
from different
Um,
angles. You can see it from
exactly.
different
And yeah,
angles.
but that's the thing. Most people, like, think about it. Think about the dyed in the wool. Red, white, and blue. The people, who have either family members in the forces, or they join themselves or whatever. It's usually the people who haven't joined themselves are the most rabid about it. But
Yeah.
you imagine telling them, like, oh yeah, remember somebody whispers something around, like, oh, I don't support the war, and then their just heads explode, like, why do you mean, blah blah. You don't
Yeah.
want to be the person to face that, and I think, yeah, like you said, that fake patriotism where it's just
I
like,
think that's what that
yeah,
is.
I support the vets, but to be honest, you don't really give a fuck, and I
You
feel like that's
don't.
the majority of them. People are doing it because it's the thing to do, not because
Yeah.
they actually care.
Yeah,
You know.
it's not because of I don't think anybody, and don't get me wrong, and nobody has
Mhm.
to, right? No, it's not something
Yeah.
that they have to do or whatever. But I don't think anybody's
Mhm.
like, man, there's some guys in Afghanistan right now potentially getting IDF, or there's some guys in Iraq right now fucking standing post, being away from their family and like losing all these
Mhm.
experiences, and they know what they got into, right? Or they
Mhm.
might not know. They might think they know.
Yeah.
But there's
I mean,
people.
we signed up for it. We did, like,
There's
to a
there's
degree, we
these
kind of knew what was
things.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
there's potential
I don't think there was a
consequences.
single person. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there was a single person who joined the military who didn't know that a potentiality was being overseas, was missing time for family and everything like that. So, to
Right.
your point, but yeah, sorry
That
for cutting you
comes
off.
with the job.
Yeah.
That's what comes with it. Possibly comes with the job. Some people never leave,
Mm.
which good for them. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. I think there's very little people or very few people who are actually like, man, our boys are over there. Our guys are over
Mm.
there still. If anything, it's probably people who are family members of
Yeah.
service members who are like, oh man, like, oh, Caesar, Rubio's over there, Caesar's over there,
Yeah.
David's over there, like, man, we gotta take care of them. We gotta send them care
Mm.
packages. We gotta, And there are those organizations who do send you care packages, and which is cool, right? And you get like these letters from
Yeah, but
kids.
most of them, like you said, most of them are people who are associated with the military in some way,
Right.
shape, or form. Like it's one of those things where and to a degree, I understand it. Like if you don't have a dog in the fight, I don't really expect you to care. Like if you don't have a family member in there, if you're not in there,
It only makes
I don't
sense.
really expect you to give a fuck. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
really don't expect you to give a fuck. Same thing with like the police. Like if you don't, I know some police officers, but like if I didn't have anybody who was, in the police force or whatever, like, why I don't give a fuck. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And to a degree, like I understand
To a
that. But yeah,
degree.
I did. I remember we talked about last time. Um, transitioning out, and actually, let's say that for later. So let's go to the thing, so I don't want throw us off
Sure.
too much.
Where were we at
Um,
before we got into this?
we were at so we were at
Good things and potential bad things. I was actually going to ask you if you thought about re-enlisting, and it seems like you did think about it, but you got your taste of military experience, and it wasn't for you. Do you
yeah,
think?
yeah, I was considering it. I
Yeah.
remember I remember I said this last time. The CI humid guys almost got me, man. They almost
Oh
snatched me up.
right, those
Yeah, they
guys.
almost snatched me up because they came in. They
They almost
came
got a
in
lot
when
of
we were on
us.
our first deployment, talking about their. I know I don't remember exactly what it. I think it's counterintelligence.
Some shit like
Like
that.
human stuff. Yeah, it's like basically what that means for people who don't know. From my understanding, it was like counterintelligence dealing with like human elements. So they had informants, and they were gathering intel and doing all that stuff, like cool stuff.
It
And
seems cool.
I remember they came in, they were all cool, they were all chilled out and everything.
Long
Like, yeah, we wear
hair.
civvies, we go out in town, our hair, we grow beards and stuff, we blend in the pop. Like, dude, it's crazy. And it was like, sign me up. I almost did it, but the reason I didn't is because at the time, I think I think I just picked up Lance, or I don't know. I picked up Lance after my first deployment. So yeah, I was a fucking PFC dude. I didn't have, I didn't have
You picked
shit.
up Lance
Um,
afterwards?
I don't remember. I feel like when I got promoted, I was stateside. I don't think
Hmm.
did I get promoted before? I don't remember honestly. I don't remember if I got promoted before or after deployment, the first one.
Yeah.
Um,
Whatever. But
but yeah, I was like, yeah, because you had to
corporal
at least be
sergeant.
an NCO. Like corporal, corporal was like if you
Mm,
were if you were shit hot, you could make it, but
yeah.
otherwise, you basically had to be a sergeant to even be considered. And I was like, there's no way in fuck I'm gonna pick up sergeant. I'd have to reenlist.
Yeah.
I'd have to reenlist and then work my way up to sergeant and then try to get into CI human. Um, but yeah, that was the closest I got to reenlisting with that. I was just like, ooh, and then afterwards
Yeah.
it wasn't something that was on the table because I got married and then I had a kid on the way, and I was just like, and then like I said, that cost reward analysis is just like, all right, risk versus reward. It's like, can I deal with potentially dealing with another 2-7?
Yeah.
My goal was to not have a family while I was in the military. That was something I had told my ex. I was just like, I don't want to have a kid while I'm in the military. I want to be there, I want to be there throughout my entire kid's life. Like, I don't want to
Hmm.
miss something because of the military. So, if that means I have to wait, then that is what it is.
Right.
And then we ended up, getting pregnant anyways. And then, so I got out, and then,
Would you would
now I'm
you
out here.
would you have picked a different job if you knew that you wouldn't really be able to get much out of the MOS that you picked now prior?
Um,
Or no, because you wanted to do the Marine Corps shit? Even though 2-7 is kind of Marine Corps shit
yeah,
all
I
around.
think, I think there's a part of me that no matter what,
Hmm.
was going to kind of throw myself at the front lines. Most of the MOSs I picked, like I had, grunt, I had some sort of vehicle operator. I can't remember what it was, and then I had, I think pilot was on there. I wanted to be a pilot,
Very cool.
and I think if I went to, and the reason I didn't do any of that is because at the time you had to have college,
Oh,
like I
right.
said, to become an officer or whatever.
That's right.
And I didn't know you could go to the officers course and basically you get a bachelor's degree and then you could become an officer. Like like I said, I
I
didn't
didn't know
know
you could
shit
do that
about that.
either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I think you can like, there's a program to where you can basically like study, like it's basically like they pay for your school, but you're an indentured servant afterwards. For the
Yeah.
military to pay it off. It's something
Oh,
like that if I can
that's
remember
kind of cool. I
correctly.
wish I knew that.
Yeah, right. And exactly
Yeah.
like so the reason I didn't become a pilot is because I didn't want to like I wanted to go as quickly as possible. I didn't want to go to school and then do the OCS and then all that stuff. Like I just wanted to go. And the O3 opened up the quickest, so I was just like, hey, I'm going that
Let's
way.
go. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because, like I said, it's like I don't know. My experience in the Marine Corps helped shape me into who I am today.
Sure.
So there's a part of me that I don't, like would I want to be different? I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of cons, but there's a lot of pros and stuff. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
there
fair.
are sometimes I do wish, like, I had had the patience to go the pilot route, because I honestly think I'd still be in today if I was a pilot.
Yeah, that'd be
I mean,
sweet.
those motherfuckers are getting some, dude. Remember when we were out there?
Oh
We were over
yeah.
there.
Those videos they would show?
Uh, Dude, no, I'm talking about like when we were over there, we were on the flight line, dude. We'd see the warthogs taxiing out, dude, loaded onto the teeth. They come back Winchester, dude.
That's what I'm
They were out
saying.
there getting
That's what
some.
I'm saying. They showed us videos of the A10s
Hmm.
doing their runs when we were over there, and they were like, "Look, this is what you guys." They wanted to show us the planes that we're protecting and like what our
Hmm.
mission was doing as being
Hmm.
Sec 4 of the base. So they showed us videos of the A10s doing runs out there in Iraq, and I was like, "Damn, these guys are fucking putting in
Yeah.
work."
And those guys, what was crazy? Those guys were a reserve unit from Indiana when we
Really?
were out there. Yeah. When we were out
Wow.
there, it was yeah, it was like the Vipers or something, and then like they had the thing on there. It was like, yeah, they were from Indiana. I was like, that's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, it was a reserve unit. But yeah, like dude, they were out there getting some, dude. They were
Oh
out there
yeah.
getting some.
No doubt.
Um, so I think I probably would have still been there if I was a pilot. I think my experience would have been a lot different as an officer,
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a part of me that would, if like, it just say like, we're done with this interview, whatever, go off on my night, and then just like the portal opens up and I crawl through it, and it's like I'm there,
At the
I'm
recruiter
I'm 18.
picking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm 18-year-old me. I was like, and I have all the knowledge of today.
Oh yeah, that'd be
There's a part of
different.
me, there'd be a part of me that'd be like, maybe I'll just walk and see how it would go.
Oh,
Knowing what
that'd
I
be
know now.
so different. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, knowing what I know now, like having this level of maturity and everything like that as an 18-year-old kid just out in the world, I'd be fucking shit up, dude. I'd be out
Yeah.
there, like I'd be in there.
It's so different
Um,
though. It's so different.
but yeah, so there's one of those things. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm
Yeah.
here for a reason. I did everything for a reason. So I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't definitively give you an answer on whether I changed my MLS or not. Like I said, part of me that just that inner jarhead, just like fuck no pussy. Like I'm a
Yeah.
311
Yeah.
like till I die.
That's what I do.
But
Yeah. That's fair.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I sometimes think about that. Like, what could have been a more useful job? But yeah. Then.
yeah, there's a lot of things like don't get me wrong. I've thought about like damn, I should have been one of those fucking Intel nerds, or damn, I should have like done supply or
Comms
something else,
or
or got a
communication or
mechanic cert or something,
you don't
something
get
like that.
certifications as a mechanic though. That's the
I know,
thing.
but like like I said, finagle the system a little bit better, but at the same time, it's just like I'm just like
Yeah.
I joined. I wanted to be a grunt. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
be on the front lines. So, like, would I have been satisfied if I had gotten if I had done that job, knowing like that's what I really wanted to do was be a grunt? Like, would I be a? I was like, I don't know if I could like I don't know if I could live with myself knowing that I just poked out hard,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
knowing
The
like I just went
hardest.
in like y'all, y'all are pretty much honorary grunts. Like anybody that's in a victory unit, you're pretty
Yeah.
much a grunt. So, but yeah, it's like, man, if I'd been poked out and been like Lejeune or Pendleton or
Fucking
something, like,
Miramar as a supply dude or something. Oof.
yeah,
Oof.
like
That'd
I
be
don't know if I
a
could live with myself.
whole different life.
Yeah, dude,
You'd
you'd
be a
be in
lifer,
lap of
dog.
luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's lifer material, like
Yeah,
this.
you'd be a lifer. You
But
didn't
yeah,
experience the fucking nitty gritty of the Marine Corps, and like
yeah,
I don't think a lot of
getting
people
pampered.
see that side of the Marine Corps. And honestly, I feel lucky that I got to
Yeah.
experience it, especially being a pogue. You know, like
Yeah.
my first deployment, I didn't do my job once. I was security the whole time. I was fucking doing post.
Yeah, you were doing grunt shit the
I was
entire
on
time.
post
Like,
the whole time, like just boom,
yeah,
QRF post the whole time. No way.
yeah.
I changed one radiator once, and that was it. And they were like, after you finish doing that, go on shift. And I was like, dude, I'm
Yeah,
fucking
like,
beat. And they were like, we don't give a fuck.
yeah, like sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, yeah. Stop being a pussy. Don't take an
Yeah,
energy
basically.
drink on post or we'll NGP you. Oh, fuck.
What?
Yeah, at first
You
they.
couldn't?
No, dude, they didn't even allow coffee at first.
What?
Yeah. And we were.
For what?
They didn't allow you to take coffee, no energy. The only things you were allowed to take, this was towards the end, after like 30
Yeah.
NJPs of 2.7. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
They allowed you to take items from the chow hall, but I got my ass chewed for asking Staff Sergeant Brown at the time. I asked him because he rolled up and he would always go up there and smoke black and milds at the post at the main gate, and
Yeah.
he'd always just chill with us for the while. And I was like, "Yo, Staff Sergeant, like, why can't we bring coffee thermos on post?" He's like, "I don't see why not." And I was like, "What?" Well, I fucking asked and they said no. And I was like, so I told him. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. I told him I was like,
Yeah.
so are you okay with me telling them that we can do that? He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. And I was like, awesome. I went back after my shift and I told, remember Sergeant Reynoso? He was like some comm sergeant.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he was my SOG, sergeant of the guard, and
Yeah.
there was another sergeant of the guard, Sergeant Vasquez, which was my motor T sergeant. He could be cool when he wanted to, but he wanted to be a dick that night, I guess.
Hmm.
I told Sergeant Reynoso that Staff Sergeant Brown gave me the okay to take coffee thermos to the fucking post.
Yeah.
And he was like, so you went over our fucking heads? And like he just started lighting my ass up. And I was like, no, I asked you guys. You didn't give me an answer. So I moved on to the next rank. And then
Yeah, we were already there. We were talking. It came up.
and
You
it
know,
came up.
like,
It wasn't anything like that, right? And then he went over
yeah.
to my actual sergeant, Sergeant Vasquez, and he told him. And then Reynoso comes out of the B-Doc room and he's like, yo, go talk to Sergeant Vasquez. And I already knew what was going to happen. So I go in there,
Yeah.
I take my hat off, I throw it on the chair, and I stand up at parade rest. And Sergeant
Yeah.
Vasquez just goes to town on my ass. Just, what the fuck? We already told you no, blah, blah, blah. Just like fucking just going hard. And that room that we were in shares the wall with the B-Doc, which is where Staff Sergeant Brown was at, and like a few like a few of the lieutenants too. And
Yeah.
I'm walking out of there, and Josso from Fox is coming out around the corner, and he's like, "Yo, who was just getting their asses chewed?" And I was like, this guy.
Yeah. Me.
Yeah. And he's like, why? And I was like, because I asked for a coffee thermos to go on post, and they got butthurt. So he went back over there and he told Staff Sergeant Brown, and Staff Sergeant Brown called those two sergeants over, and he was like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, I told him, and he got into their ass, and I show up the next day with my coffee thermos.
The coffee thermos. You're like, yo,
fuck you. And then everybody started taking them on post, and I was like, "You're welcome, bitches." I got my ass chewed for that.
Yes. Sorry, the people revolution. Like,
yeah, dude. Somebody's got to,
that's
bro.
so stupid. Yeah,
so
like
stupid.
And that was the thing. One of the things I did hate about the military is like, you could tell people who've never had a lick of authority in their life.
Oh,
They get a bit and they go crazy. Yeah. And the people who got butthurt, like that they jumped over them. Like a good example of that is, so I was on leave, right?
Mm.
I had just gotten married, right? And we were on our way back to California. They messed up putting my tire on. Long story short, I had to stop, and I was immobilized for like a day or so, and I was going to be late, coming back from leave. As this stuff was happening, team leader, blowing up the phone, blowing up their phone, blowing up the phone, blowing up their phone, blowing up the phone. Okay, bet. Squad leader, blowing up the phone, blowing up the phone, blowing up the phone, blowing up the phone, bet. Nothing. At the end of it, I didn't have my.
Oh shit! Hold up, and he's back. I was gonna pause it.
Yeah.
There you are.
Um.
You're back.
Yeah, I don't know what that happened.
No camera.
Yeah, like I said, it's been doing weird stuff, but But so there we go.
There it is.
Blowing up the phone, so I had my so I didn't have my platoon commander's or platoon sergeant's number. I don't remember at the time. So I ended up calling Lieutenant Culver. He was the only one who answered. I explained to him the situation. He was like, look, don't worry about it. Just get back. Get
Yeah.
back when you get back. We'll handle things on our end. We just want you to be safe. Keep me posted, everything like that. So I kept him posted, everything like that. I got back.
Oh no.
My squad leader, Sergeant Beatty, dude, he got so butthurt. He was like, "Why didn't you call us?" I was like, "You want me to go get my phone? Like, no disrespect. I called you. I called you, and I called my team leader. Nobody answered. I had nothing. I had no other options. Like, I
Yeah.
understand, and I wasn't trying to jump over you. I was in a shit situation. My tire was screwed. I had to get back to base. I had just gotten married, so I'm dealing with a frantic,
Yeah.
newlywed wife in the military,
Yeah.
and so I'm
Not
like,
being
I'm freaking
UA.
out. I have all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like I have all this stuff going on. I'm just trying to make it back to California so I don't get NJP'd for being UA and all this other stuff. So it's like, so it's basically, I was just like so mad because like, why are you mad at me? I did what I have to do. I did what I had to do. I let somebody know. It was like, would it have been better if I'd not said anything and showed up 3 days late? Like what was the alternative? And that's what I hated so much is like
Yeah.
those things, the common sense, like if you are unable to reach this person, go to the
Go to
next
the
person. If you're
next.
unable to reach this person,
Yeah.
go to the next person. Same thing with your situation. You would ask them. They didn't give you an answer,
No, his answer was, "Nah, I don't feel like." I was like, "Can you ask if we can take coffee thermos on post?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't feel
Yeah.
like dealing with that shit." And I was like, "Come on, dude.
Like what kind of stupid yeah.
You can't
Like so
even
you wanted to
ask."
be lazy as a leader,
Yeah.
to not provide for your guys, and then you had the audacity to get mad when like you said, something that came up in conversation. It's not like you went and
No.
sought out Staff Sergeant Brown. It was like
No.
Staff
Yeah. Yeah.
Sergeant,
Yeah.
Sergeant, Sergeant Reynoso, and Sergeant Vasquez. They weren't gonna ask you my question and like doing that. That'd have been different. That'd have
No.
been like, yeah, you should deserve to
No.
get your
It
shit
was
kicked in.
just like,
But
yo.
that was
Yeah. Okay, are we
yeah,
not
but that wasn't the
allowed?
case. So it's just like exactly. So it's like that's so dumb that they wanted to be,
They freaked out.
that bent out of shape about that. Like that is so stupid. It's so
Stupid.
stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the things I hate about the military because that happened all the time. Then
Yeah.
people get butt blasted that you'd ask somebody else or you didn't go to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, it's like what? Oh, am I sorry? Am I not supposed to talk to anybody else but you? Like if I have a problem, I remember there was somebody that kind of they made a snide comment about me talking to Lieutenant Culver and Sergeant Geyer. It's like I was like, they listened.
Yeah.
I had something, and those are people I trust, that trust to give that are going to give me wise counsel and they're going to have my back in this.
Right.
A lot of you motherfuckers, I don't trust you. Why
Yeah.
would I tell you that? Um, like I'm not friends with you. Like, and in certain degrees, I'm not friends with them either. But they're going to treat me like a man. They're going to treat me like
Yeah, they're
respect and
gonna
actually
take
have
care
a
of you. They're gonna
conversation.
be leaders that you need them to
Exactly.
be.
They're approachable. You
Yeah.
guys are not approachable. Like I can't be like, hey, I have this situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when it was personal stuff. Like I was like talking about personal stuff. I'm not gonna talk to you guys. Like there's a few people I
It's all
could on personal
blasted
stuff, but the
everywhere.
most part it's like, yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, you guys are schoolgirls and tell everybody's business. And like I remember having this stuff like I didn't talk to none of these people because half the time like something would happen and then they would tell me. I'm just like, why are you telling me somebody else's
Yeah.
business? Like
Yeah. I do that
I
at
don't get
work
it.
now. I'm just like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I was like,
Yeah.
stop talking about people. Like, Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ.
was like, what the? I was like, I don't care. Sometimes it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like when there's did this one finally die? I think one of my buds went out, but it's okay. My other one's still working.
Hey, we're
Um,
still here.
but yeah, so yeah, it's just like it's stupid, and that's what the thing. I described the Marine Corps 27 specifically as a all girls Catholic high school. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Some of the drama that went on, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, you telling me we're all grown ass men,
Yeah.
and this is what we're doing? Like,
Yeah. Ridiculous.
this is what we're doing. Like, your butt hurt because like this. Really? Like, I was like, dude, I can't take this shit anymore. Like,
Dude,
I can't deal with
they
this.
pulled
Like,
some shit, dude. That was so shady. Like when we were deployed, it was just like they were trying to do their best to catch people. Like, and we weren't supposed to be like one up, one down, but we did it anyways because we were like night shift.
Yeah.
But they would do like, and when I mean one up, one down, is one guy sleeping while the other
Yeah,
guy's
one up.
like
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
guarding.
you're explaining that for them, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But
Um,
like and we were doing that at the main, not the main ECP for Jabber, because they put like
mhm.
6 or 7 Marines at that gate, and you only needed 2 at the gate. Like that's all you really
Yeah, for
needed.
the I never understand that. Yeah, and Jabber, like the main gate, there was always like 4 people there. And it's like, what the? You only need 2
Yeah,
max. Like you
yeah,
could get away. I was like, understandably so, it's the front gate, so you should probably have 2 people. But realistically, you only needed like one motherfucker out there. Like
yeah.
practically.
But
But OPSEC and all the stupid.
yeah, so
Yeah, that was
like
so
other guys
dumb.
would sleep in this shack, um,
Hmm.
and whenever the SOG would come around, somebody would smack the fucking wall so they could wake up, right?
Yeah.
And this SOG noticed, right? He got off to give us chow, and I remember he told me he's like y'all think I'm stupid? He's like, I see you guys kicking the wall to wake him up,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I gotta get smarter. So then I was like,
Yeah, we got to come up with a new,
I
a
was
new brevity killer or something.
I was like, whenever you see the map V, just say hootie hoo. So
Oh, it was you dumbasses that started that. I was wondering because I came across it, and then people would just be like, "Hoo hoo!" I
that
was
was
like,
me.
"Why are you guys doing this? Like, what is?"
Yeah, that was me.
I was,
So, because they can't hear out of a mat V for shit, right?
yeah,
So I was just like,
yeah,
hootie hoo, hootie. And whenever they would hear that, they would wake the fuck up in there. They would gear
yeah,
up because you can't have your fucking flak off
yeah.
or
You're
anything.
taking all your shit off.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because they're fucking laid out, And
yeah, racked out like
yeah,
all.
so we would just be like, hootie hoo. We wouldn't kick anything, and then they would
Yeah,
wake up. And then the SOG didn't know we did anything, right? So it was
yeah,
just,
hell yeah.
we ended up adapting and overcoming, rah.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, that was like when we were on trap, dude, and luckily, like I said, we had a good chain of command, and they were trying to help us out. But when we got there, trap was a non-sleeping post. They wanted us to be
Everything.
up there for 12 hours.
Wow.
12 hours, and most of the time, dude, we were doing nothing. Like
So,
y'all thought you were doing nothing. We were not doing a damn thing. Like we would sit in a tent and just kind of stare at each other. Like people, like the first couple times we were doing anything. Then finally we got comfortable. Like we would bring our laptops, and people brought their DSs and stuff. I remember that's
yeah,
how I got
fuck
good at Mario
yeah.
Kart because we had DS com. Like people had a few DSs, and we would all just take turns. Like it basically, whoever won would, like the winner would keep theirs, and then like loser, you go by rank, and loser would swap out and everything like that.
That's funny.
And these guys were vicious. Like there was no mercy. Like they didn't tell me how to play any of the stuff. I hadn't played Mario Kart since the Wii.
Savages.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm garbage. And I had to learn. I warn people now because I've had several people that have tried to challenge me in Mario Kart. I was like, dude, I'm not saying this to brag, but I will murder you in this game. I was like, I spent nothing. I spent 6 months
Yeah.
playing Mario Kart with people who did not show me the controls, did not show me like how to do
Fucking
anything. Like
assholes.
people who were just beating me down mercilessly. Like I learned, I
Yeah.
learned because I got my ass kicked. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Um, but yeah, so dude, and then they were like, as a non-sleep post. I remember the first time Trey came up there at one point. He's like, "That's bullshit. Like this is bullshit. It's not coming from us." They went up there and they were talking about. It. He's like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. It's not coming from us. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Like how do they want us?
Colonel
They expect you
Bohm.
guys to
I
be up
think
for
it's Colonel
12."
Bohm. I think that's who it was.
Yeah,
That fucking son of a
yeah. He's
bitch.
like, they expect you. Yeah, they expect you to be up for 12 hours and then be ready to go. Like I was
Dude,
like, he's like that's what we do. We rack out when there's nothing going on, and we wake up and we're ready to go. Like we're instantly turned on. It's like that's what we do as Marines. He's
they
like,
had us do
and he
16
told us,
hours, dude. They had us do a
yeah,
16
dude,
hour post back to
it's
back.
like,
I was done, gassed. And then
oh,
QRF afterwards. I remember Gunny
yeah,
Austin would come into peek his head into the QRF room, and we'd be racked out because he didn't want us racking out. And he'd whistle
yeah,
loud as fuck. Just like a fucking asshole. Just loud as fuck. He'd
yeah.
whistle. And we'd all be like, oh, and he'd be like, wake the fuck up. And it's like, Jesus Christ,
I was
dude.
like, dude, we're all dog tired. I was like, what do you expect us to do if something were to actually happen?
We're not doing
And
shit.
we're
And
all dog tired.
we were, yeah, half asleep. Like, what the fuck? And
It's like
when we
if we're
did
all
have,
dog tired, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
We all when we did get our QRF drills, we were on top of it, but like that was like early on where they were before they were being complete assholes about us. They took everything from the QRF room, dude. We had cards, like, to play fucking cards.
Yeah.
We had dominoes to play dominoes. We had, like, a bunch of shit. They were like, yo, get everything out. Get the table out. Get the chairs out. Get rid of everything. They were like, fuck you guys.
What?
Everything.
For why? Nobody knows?
Fuck you. That's why.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
But I remember first time today, like they came up there and they told us, they're like, look, we're not supposed to do this, but like have somebody up. Have a few people up. Like everybody else, like you can have exactly. Basically like you can have you can rack out like sleep if you need to. Just be ready to go. If something happens, be ready to go. Like drills, anything, like just make sure you guys like don't fuck it up,
Yeah.
But like we need you guys to be operating, and if you guys are up here, it's like if you guys are dying up here, being up here all day, you're not going to be any good in the fight if you are tired, So, but yeah, I was glad. Like I said, good chain of command there that were trying to help us out on that deployment. But yeah, that shit was so stupid.
Worlds.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard the stories of how you guys got
fucked.
Just thrashed.
Yeah, fucked. And then it's like when we were on our rest cycle, Gunny Austin would go to the barracks or to our like where we sleep at, and he would knock. He would not knock. He would slam on our doors. Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. When I remember like dropping trowel because I'm about to like get in my bed and I hear goo 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 goo. Get the fuck out. And I was like, pulled it back up and I fucking. And they're like, we gotta fill so many sandbags for a lemonade stand post. And then you gotta fucking go to a Colonel Bone bullshit, speech.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, I'm fucking on my rest cycle. Fuck, like you fucking assholes. It was rough.
That was
just
dumb.
A bullshit ass deployment overall.
Yeah.
Stupid. But
that was. Yeah, for my career, that was the closest that we got to even doing anything. I'll go over this story real quick and then we can move on to the rest of it because it was getting pretty late and everything. I don't want to keep you up too much longer. But yeah, so we had we were doing trap and everything. We had a instance where a bird went down. The Jordanian pilot went down over an ISIS stronghold. I don't remember that. I never got a solid reason. Like there was speculation that his wingman clipped him because they're notorious for being shitty. Or if he got shot down. So it wasn't. I never got a confirmation on what actually happened. But bird went down. He ejected. They had a whole party waiting for him to hit the ground. He like landed in this little lake thing, and they were waiting for him. They dragged him out and everything, and then took him to the stronghold. They spun up a bird. They spun up a trap section. And they sent him out, and I remember I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "These guys are gonna die. Like, I'm losing friends. Like, I'm never gonna see these people again. Like, if they don't." I was sitting there worried. Like, I was because. So what happened was, they anytime like if they had to send us out for anything serious, they would have another trap section standing by. So when they sent them out, they had us come in. Like I remember because we were on a rest cycle, and they were like, "Oh, we got to get everybody together. We got to go to the airfield."
This is a real
I was like, "They're sending out trap." Yeah, exactly. It's in a real mission. We need to come. We need to be on standby. And I remember I was like, "There's my friends are on that bird. Like people I know and I care about are on that bird.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna see them again. Like they're gonna fucking die. It's a suicide mission. And anybody they send in after them, it's like dead. Like everybody's gonna be dead. Like if we go in there, we're dead. Like we're all dead. There was an ISIS stronghold. They had good stuff. They were ready to go.
Yeah.
We'd be walking right into into their turf, onto their turf.
Right.
And I remember I was sitting there. I was like, dude. I was like, yeah. I was like shook, dude. I was like, fuck. I'm gonna lose these friends. I'm gonna lose these guys and everything like that. And then they turned around. I was like, dude, thank God, because I was like, I remember I talked to one of them after. I was like, you guys are gonna fucking die. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You guys are gonna get shot down. It would have
been messy.
Yeah.
It would have been
like there was no way. There was no way. Yeah, they would unless and from as far as I understood, they didn't mobilize fast movers or anything. So it's like they were going out there.
That's what I was about to ask. Is like how did it not send any jets out there for support?
From what I remember, I don't remember them sending fast movers. Like I don't remember that being a thing.
You sent some A-10s out there. I'm sure they could help. you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, they didn't have any. I don't know what the deal was, but they didn't have any air support. Maybe I think the reason why they didn't mobilize any air support is because they didn't. Maybe they weren't sure what actually shot. Like if they actually got shot down or if he got clipped. So if you send
Oh,
another bird to get shot down, then it's
yeah.
just more of a clusterfuck because you have
Right.
birds down, multiple birds down,
But they
and
send a fucking osprey with
our
Marines in the back.
yeah, two ospreys with like a squad, with a half a platoon in it.
Did
Uh,
you guys get to
so it's
go
like
up
a
in the air too?
yeah, we got so I'll get into that after this. So yeah, they sent them out and everything, and then they turned around and then they burned. They waited till after Christmas to burn that guy alive, and I've seen a lot of fucked up things in my life, but those ISIS videos they hit home in a whole new way.
That was a fucked up one.
But yeah, so after that, a lot of the countries going to pull out of the bombing campaign. They're like, no, fuck this. This is too much of a risk. Blah blah blah. And the Marine Corps is like, wait, guys, we have an amazing idea, and by amazing we mean good for you guys, and we're gonna fuck the Marines in the ass. So they're like, we're gonna do aerial trap, and we're like, what the hell is an aerial trap? It's like trap,
But
but
in the
instead of
air.
sitting on the flight line, yeah, exactly. But instead of sitting on the flight line, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all you dumbasses in the back of this bird, and you're gonna be in there for 6 hours, 2 hours out, 2 hours in rotation, 2 hours back, six
Jeez.
hours sitting on that fucking bird, hating life,
In the
cold as
ospreys, to
hell,
say the least.
miserable. Yeah, exactly, miserable. Man, if I ever see another osprey, it's gonna be too soon. Like I will make it my life mission to become filthy rich and buy out
6
the ospreys,
hours?
destroy them all, and destroy all the blueprints and like pay for every single like all of it will be destroyed. Like I will destroy all of it. But yeah, 6 hours, dude. 6 hours
Fuck.
sitting in there. And at first, we went up there and it was terrible because we didn't have any, like, we were all up there freezing our dicks off. And frogs, that they kept the gunner's doors were open and the back was open for the crew chief. So we
Yeah.
were up there. And mind you, I was night trap. Yeah,
Cold.
night trap. Yes, cold.
Cold.
So we're in there dying, right? Just absolutely dying. And then and then Mothers of America they sent us these really shitty wool blankets. I mean, they were better than nothing. But we had three guys bundled together, shivering, trying to. And it's like, dude, just all you're trying to do is go to sleep because the sooner you can go to sleep, the sooner it'll be over.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was shitty. So yeah, we did go up a lot, and it was just fucking kill
So
me.
every
Like I
time
would
a run
rather.
would go out, you guys would head out there? And you guys would fly over Iraq, or you guys would fly over Kuwait?
We would go we would fly over like we would fly from Kuwait all the way across Iraq to the Iraq Syrian border. Then we would hover around the Iraq Syrian border and
Fuck.
then fly back. Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were balls deep, bro. We
That's
were
so
balls deep.
risky.
Like, yeah, we were in that. Like, dude, if anything happened on the way there or back, like, dude, colossal fucked. Like, we were.
Game over.
Yep.
Weren't you guys
Yeah. So
scared
it's
of those
terrible.
ospreys going down? Because they go down all the time. Like, isn't there fuck
Yeah.
ups with ospreys?
There are fuck ups, but like, I mean, they mega prioritize the ones that were gonna be on trap.
Oh, really?
Like they were the good ones. They were like these ones get top priority maintenance. Everything like, and then they had backup birds. So they would swap if anything was wrong with a bird, man, they would swap them out like it was nothing. Like
Oh, okay.
it's like, oh, the tire pressure's low on this one, swap it out. Like we don't have time.
Too
Like
risky.
stupid
Too
stuff. But
risky with an osprey.
yeah, too risky.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they hop swapped those things out like crazy. But yeah, dude, it was terrible.
Fuck
And then
that.
yeah,
I
we
can't
got
even
back from that
imagine.
deployment, and I was like, thank God, I never want to go back to Kuwait. And the second deployment, they're like, hey, guess what, Kuwait.
Kuwait
It's like cool.
again. Completely
And like
different
how for
mission.
you your first, yeah, how for you for your first deployment was a waste of time. That's how Kuwait Part 2 was for me
That
because they
was.
stuck me in an office, and I wanted to kill myself. I was like,
Sucks, yeah.
every day, dude. I'm telling you, like every day I was sitting there,
I heard the
and I was like,
bullshit was crazy. Like, absurd.
yes, yes, it was stupid. Like, and by the time we got back, dude, Al Jabber had poked out
Super
hard.
poked. Super. When we got
Yeah, it
there,
was like
Aljabber was
top brass.
shit.
Yeah,
Shit
but
when we
like I'm
first
talking
got
about
there.
like even before we left, like it was still kind of like it was primarily an enlisted base. Like enlisted people were there. There was a few officers, but
Yeah.
enlisted. And then we got back, dude. It was top brass central. Sergeant majors and
Yeah.
freaking master guns and colonels and majors and all,
Oh
everything in between. It's
no.
just like, it was terrible, dude. It was terrible. I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I'm not
And
comfortable. There's too many.
and Jabber was a saluting base, right?
Um,
So,
what's it?
I don't
I
know.
can't remember.
I wasn't there the second time. Well, I stopped by there on my way to Iraq when they flew me from Jordan, because I was in Jordan for a month, and then they were like, "Hey, we need more techs at Iraq. Shit's
Hmm.
breaking faster than we can fix it." So they were like, "Rubio, you're going over there."
I don't remember if it was a saluting base or not. I don't even know it wasn't a saluting base because we had boonies.
Oh, nice. They tried
Yeah,
doing that
we were
in Iraq. Stupid. They tried
what
to,
saluting
yeah, like,
in Iraq.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro, we're
Retards.
taking IDF. You want to
Yeah.
like, oh,
Like
roster, like as you're running to
towards
it.
the end, they were like, cause it didn't poke out, but it chilled out a lot compared to like what it
Yeah,
was, when we first, cause when we first got there,
yeah,
shit was going down, like shit was going
yeah,
down constantly, and then like towards the end, it was just we don't have to take our flak with us anywhere, like we could just take our rifle, and have a mag inside of it, condition
yeah,
3, but once and they were like, "Hey, it was very unclear about saluting," and it was like, I think it was like the base colonel or some shit like that, and the sergeant major,
mm-hmm.
and it was me and my 2 Marines, and I was like, "Should we fucking salute?" And because they had just told us, so I was like, "Fuck it," and then we do it, and we're like, "Rah, sir," like question mark, and then the sergeant major stops, like, "Arr!" He's like, "Hey, don't salute," and I was like, "Roger
Titties.
that, sergeant major," but we got told. He's like, it doesn't matter what they told you, just don't do it. And we're like, all right.
Yeah,
Like, we wouldn't do it if we weren't fucking told to.
yeah.
It's just we were told
It
to.
just
So.
seems like it's stupid. Like,
It's
if bare
stupid.
minimum, like OPSEC, why would you? Why would you? You know,
Why would you salute
you're
brass in
under
Iraq?
constant. Yeah, it's like you're under constant observation. Like, why would you
Oh,
salute
yeah.
brass? Like,
Yeah, especially
it's like
there.
you might as well. Yeah, you might as well just like dangle him out the wire. At that point, like, oh, here's an officer.
We were like, fuck that
Like,
guy. Hey.
yeah, exactly. Like, hey, yeah, that guy. Yeah, you only salute the officer you don't like, and
Yeah,
then like,
yeah.
they raid the compound and take him. He's the only one that did.
Yeah. He's like, stop fucking
But yeah,
saluting me. And we're like, what, sir? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, what? What are you
We're just
talking about?
holding it.
But yeah, dude, it was a nightmare. There was just so much brass. It was just so stupid. It's just like everywhere. It's just like, and then all this stuff, dude. And then the Pogue just started infesting everything. Like, oh, your uniforms and all this other stuff. I was like,
Oh.
we are deployed. Like, we are
Deployed.
deployed, my guy. Like, we have bigger fish to fry than my uniform looking clean.
Yeah, I got my ass chewed
Then
about my haircut
it
in
was like, oh
Iraq.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, your blouse sections are too low.
Oh
I'm on a
God.
deployment. This is my second deployment. You think I give a fuck what you have to say right now? I don't, sweetie, pumpkin. I don't care.
Listen,
Like, I
Linda,
don't.
I'm getting out
Yeah,
after
Linda.
this.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember how many times like somebody, they would say something to me. I'm like, all right, Roger that, and I wouldn't change it. I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm on a second deployment. Like, I get out
Yeah,
after this.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
I got
done.
6 months until I get out.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like, piss off. you know. Um.
I
Yeah, and
think I
then
had
got back,
four
and then,
months. Holy fuck!
huh?
I had 4 months to get out after.
When you got out, damn, that's tragic. Like,
It was
that
rough.
would hurt me even more. Like, 6 months was rough, but if I had anything less, dude, I'd be dying. Like, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
it was rough.
but
When I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get my shit together," and I didn't have the time to. But that's gonna be
oh,
what I'm
cool.
coming to you. This question. So when you got
Yeah.
back and you had 6 months to get out, would you say that they allowed you the time? Would you say the company office allowed you the time to prepare yourself to get out, or?
Um. Yeah, and I would say I'm very fortunate in the fact that I was a part of a small shop that, realistic. Like, everybody I worked with, was a grunt. Everybody in the three was 0311, or 03 adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had, Shay was a tube stroker. For those who don't know, tube stroker is a euphemism for mortarman. Because a mortar is shaped like a tube.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. um, but so yeah, we had Shay up there. We had a really whole hodgepodge of like O3s, O3XXs up there. And then we had, my Master Guns. He took care of us, Master Guns Davis. He was awesome at the Major Kerrigan. He was,
Awesome.
there and everything. So that, yeah, I was afforded the opportunities to get everything, but I understand that I was in a very unique situation
Right.
because a lot of people, weren't afforded this opportunity. I saw people in the line company who had just as much time as I did constantly, and man, they'd come up to the shop and they'd tell me, I was like, yo, I was like, how's all this stuff go for you? They're like, dude, like this is terrible, whatever. And like I was BB at the 3, I'd go out of my way to hook them up, like because they had to get their final height, weight, and everything. I was like, I'll hook them up, like
Right.
y'all can come up here, like keep it on the low, I'll help you out and everything like that. But I got you. But yeah, it was dumb. I saw them getting hoard around, and they were constantly
Yeah.
trying to throw people out to do stuff, and it's just like let us go, dude. We're not like we're not making the workup.
Just let them
We're
get
definitely
ready.
not making the deployment. Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
point? What's the point? But 2-7, like
2-7,
just
bro.
fucking us every time, every second they get. But
For
yeah, and
reals.
then got out, and I mean the whole process was kind of fucked because still, even though they gave me time to figure out, like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had to move my entire house across country and then figure out a job and all this other shit. It's just like you said, we talked about last time. Even with the things that they're doing or they're trying to do with helping us, like it's not enough. Like
Yeah.
TRS is not enough. Uh, like it's just not enough, because it kind of just like, okay, here's your DD-214, slap you on the ass, and then kick you out the door.
That's it.
Like, so it's like, yeah, this is it. This is what we're doing, and so
It's so weird too.
yeah,
Like you just
yeah,
that's all that happens. You just I guess that's the process,
yeah,
but maybe it could be better. And I don't necessarily have the answers. Like what could we
yeah,
potentially better? Maybe they could prepare you for some sort. I don't know if they do this for everybody who was like deployed or just everybody in general, but they had me talk to like a psychologist when I got out. Because I went to like the VA center or whatever, and they were like, they
hmm
asked me like what was I a part of any campaigns or anything like that, and I told them, and they were like, you should talk to a psychologist, and I was like, okay, sure. I was like, I'll give it a go, and
hmm
that was weird. That was my first time ever. That was my first time ever talking to one of them
hmm
people, and
Well, man,
yeah, and it was definitely strange. And she was nice and everything, but I just didn't feel
hmm
comfortable.
oh, you got a female? I never had a. I only had like last time I had a female counselor was like high school.
Yeah, it was a
Or
female,
yeah,
and it was definitely just weird. I didn't
yeah.
like to express.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
funny because I did on my like with the VA I did because they ask if you have a preference. I was like, I mean, I prefer a chick, but I guess I'm not picky. And like I've gotten 2 dudes, but they've been cool, like they've been awesome and everything. Yeah, but I was like, damn, you guys are really just like I said, want a chick, but
yeah,
whatever. Um,
just got a guy.
but yeah, no, yeah, that was yeah, no, they didn't do anything like that for me. They didn't nobody said to go talk to a counselor or anything. They were just like I had to go talk well because I didn't so I went through the DAV um,
Yeah.
to get my stuff filed and everything because I was trying because my dad told me about it, and then I went and I went to the hospital, the Navy hospital over there in base, and I talked to him, the VA guy, and he
Hmm.
said, and he actually told me, he's like, did you talk to the DAV yet? And he was like, and I was like, no, no, yeah, I was like, I've heard about it and everything like that. He's like, look, honestly, yeah, he's like, the VA, they're not trying to help you, like
Yeah.
they're trying to
It
pay
sucks
for
that
it
he
as
was
the little
honest,
as
but yeah.
possible. So you need somebody who knows the system and how to advocate for you. I was like, I would recommend you talk to the DAV. So I talked to them and they helped me with everything. Um, and I got 30% out the gate once everything was
Nice,
said and
dude.
done. Yeah, because I mean, they knew how to, word everything and I got more. I actually got more. I got more than I was anticipating.
See,
When I
I
had the
only got
30%,
10.
I was just like, yeah, damn, really?
Yeah. They denied
What
like
for
my back
tinnitus?
shit. Yeah,
They
exactly.
denied your back shit.
Yeah. They denied my back
Dude,
shit, my knee shit because I fucked my knee up while I was in. I almost didn't deploy the first
mhm,
time. And my
damn.
my shoulder, I could barely sleep on it in Iraq. I could barely sleep on my
Mm.
shoulder in Iraq. And they were like, nope, nope, and nope. And they were like, tinnitus because we can't prove it otherwise.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I got
that's a
super.
nice tip.
Yeah, they were like 10%.
Yeah,
So I got
because
super
yeah,
unmotivated,
because
and I haven't done it again, and I need to, and I should.
yeah, I would recommend get on it and definitely go to the DAV, definitely talk to them and
That's
everything
who I
like
did
that.
it with. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah,
Like, what the
damn, and they
fuck?
still kick your shit back.
Yeah,
Gotta be persistent.
you have to
Yeah,
be.
just keep hammering at them. Yeah, because I was fortunate. Like one of the nicer parts of Kansas City is we do have one of the best rated VAs
That's awesome.
in the country, and so I was very fortunate with my experience. Like, yes, the VA is shitty.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that, And I've had my bouts with them and not doing the right things, but they're oh, you're done, okay. But for the most part, it's been very good, or I've gotten the things I need to get done for the most part.
That's good, man. Not everybody
And it's
has
being a
that,
better system. But yeah, exactly. Because I talked to I don't remember if you remember Radisky.
I believe so.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good
Yeah. I
friends. I still
definitely
talk to
remember.
him all the time and everything. And he's been having a rough go of it, with his and stuff. And yeah, we talk about that all the time. He'd be good. You should hit him up and have him on here. He'd be a good person to talk
Yeah. I
to.
don't know if I have him on
Um,
Facebook. I might. Yeah.
yeah, should add him.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so and I've heard from other people, how much they're having trouble with it and everything. I was like, damn, like I realize I'm very fortunate in that aspect, but still at the same time, it's just like man, this should not be the case. Like I got so many people out here just kind of dealing with it. And there's some people who for for a certain degree of it is kind of on them and not being proactive about it. But
Mm.
for the most part, it's on the VA. So, but yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend getting on there because I mean,
I should.
one thing Reddit told me, and he was talking to somebody who had because they were talking about PTSD and stuff, and I had the similar feelings about it. I was like, I feel guilty. Like if I were to get that on my jacket, I feel guilty. Like I didn't do anything.
Right.
Like I knew people. One of my Staff Sergeant Welburn and the F3 literally got blown up twice in the freaking LAV. He was in LAV. He's got blown up twice. Like his knees messed up because of all that stuff, like hearing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there getting PTSD for what? Flying around in an Osprey for 6 hours. Like, don't get me wrong, it's pretty traumatic, but like
Yeah.
not to get enough to get a rating. But he said, this guy, his old timer, had told him, he's like, look, he's like, if they're gonna give it to you, he's like, take it. Like there's no shame in like PTSD takes different forms. Because
Oh, definitely.
I had a what do you call it? Uh, a pharmacist. What is they called? It's not farm. It's a psychologist or I don't remember. But she had told me she had like I had we're talking everything like that, and she's like, do you think you might have PTSD? And I was like, no, why? And she's like, well, this, that, and the other thing, and put PTSD on the table. I was like, from what? I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we almost did get swatted out of the sky, but I was asleep for that, so
Yeah.
that didn't, I didn't find out that about that until almost 4 or 5 months after my deployment. So like, what does that matter?
Jeez.
um,
What do you mean you guys
but
almost
yeah,
got swatted? You guys almost got taken down?
yeah. So we were flying around and we had like they had the solid lock and everything, and they had pop flares and
No shit.
done evasive maneuvers, and I was racked out, dude. I was like, I
What
remember one of the
the
guys told me
fuck?
about it. I was like, dude, I was like, I would have been dead. Like, I would have just died in my sleep, just got blown up, or woken
Jesus.
up to the bird crashing, and
Yeah.
just like all the things going off, and people
Yeah.
getting sucked out of the window, and it's like,
Oh,
ah,
that'd be
like,
terrifying.
have you seen the Edge of Tomorrow with
I think so.
it's the one with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. It's the futuristic one where he's like
Oh,
they got the Nexus and stuff.
yes.
Remember when they're going on the beach and thing crashing, everybody's flying, getting stuck out of the thing.
Yes,
He's holding
dude.
on to the thing and be like that, like
Yes,
ah.
dude. That shit is crazy. The Edge of Tomorrow is a
But
great fucking movie.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that was terrifying. I mean, that was something that was kind of in the back of my head anytime we went out. It's like, what would happen to the bird went down and I'm out in the middle of the desert,
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
that's a terrifying thought,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because if the sun doesn't kill you, the freaking ISIS will find you eventually. It's just like,
And you guys would be fighting for
and
your
it's like,
life.
exactly, like, and you're out there, like, you have no bearing. Everything looks the same,
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know where to go.
Like, I'd be screwed,
Yeah. No idea. You'd be so
Um,
fucking unlocated, you wouldn't even know
Yeah,
where the fuck to go.
yeah, it'd be terrible. But but yeah, so that's the thing. It's like just don't. Yeah, I mean, they worked it out of you like they put your shoulder and your back, like milk
Shit.
them. So if they put it on my jacket, like I'm not gonna complain. Like, hey, give me more money.
Yeah, I
Y'all
have
owe
to
me
go
as far as
back.
I'm concerned.
I have to go back. My back is just constantly fucking killing me. It sucks.
Yeah.
um, what would you say was one of the hardest parts about your transition to the civilian world?
Um, I had. I'll say. I mean, what wasn't the hardest part? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
trying to,
Would you
kind
say
of like out of the frying pan into the fire.
would
You
you
know.
yeah, would you say that it was kind of because I'm still kind of struggling with this now. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do and like where I fit in and what's something that could potentially fill, I guess, the void that the Marine Corps left. And it shouldn't have left that
Mhm.
big of a void, but to me, it was like an important job, right? And don't get me wrong, I bitched
Mhm.
about it because it sucked, but it was an
Mhm.
important job and it had meaning behind it, right? Whether it not be for the right reasons, whatever it was, but it was something that gave me some sort of pride. And um, I'm still struggling to figure out exactly what it is I want to do. Like I have ideas of what I'd like to do, but I'm not sure. I feel like my mind's going everywhere. Where it's like maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that, maybe I can try this.
Mhm.
Do you ever feel like you're amongst those sort of thoughts?
Yeah. No. I feel you in the same capacity. Like don't get me wrong. There's aspects of the Marine Corps that I miss, but
Sure.
yeah, it's and it is kind of like like a lot of things are laid out for you, like your job, your purpose, everything like that is kind of
Yeah.
what you have to do is pretty laid out to you, and then you go from the ultimate structure to no
Nothing.
structure, you
Yeah.
know, and so it's just like how do you like how do you deal with that, and I had like I was in a little bit better situation than a lot of people because I had the support. I had family that had been in the
Oh,
military
true.
to come back to and everything like that. So I had some support, but I had the day I got out was the day that I found out that Reed Holzhauser had taken his life, and that was rough. That was I was dealing with trying to figure out what I was gonna do, trying to figure out how I was gonna make it for my family. Um, you know, uh,
Had you
Reed
spoken with
passing
Reed
away.
like
Had I
before?
spoken with Reed?
Yeah, like before you got out.
Um, yeah, I had it had been a while since I talked to him. I
Mm-hmm.
know that, but it was just like because I was I got lost in everything, transitioning, trying to get out and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It'd been a while since I talked to him, but yeah, the I had I guess my nose bleeding. I
I don't
felt
think
something
so.
running down. I was like, no, it's not. But I had yeah, well, I was close to him, so that was a big blow.
Yeah.
Um, so dealing with that, I was fortunate enough to go to his funeral. I went up there with Freeze, Calm Freeze, and Bates, and
Bates.
because we're all kind of in the Midwest area, and so that was nice when we were up there and everything. But like, dude, I've been to funerals. And what's weird is I've had and like I mean a lot of people, especially people who served in the military and everything, they know like those people you do get close to their family, like,
Yeah.
and they're closer to you than in aspects of family. Like I had my my grandma pass away before boot camp, and that was rough. But Reed's funeral, dude, like that whole thing, like, and it's still it's still like, and it sounds messed up, like, but like I think about my grandma and like she was older and it was kind of her time and everything like that, and so it's like it was the thing with Reed, it was just like ripping the e-brake at 900 miles an hour, like
Yeah.
didn't see it coming, all that stuff. Um, so that was a lot to deal with. And then I kind of, with my relationship, I was kind of dealing with a lot of stuff alone as well. So mentally, it was a huge challenge trying to figure out all that. I was dealing with a lot of depression, you know, recently found out I had anxiety right before I got out. Trying to get, my knees and my back figured out so I could, work and all that stuff. So it was kind of a mess, and
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, dude, I feel like this year things are starting to smooth out,
Well,
ironically,
that's good.
2020 of all years.
Yeah, you're telling me. Look what I got going on.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
But yeah, a lot of good things have happened this year, strangely enough. But
strangely.
yeah, so that was, yeah, I feel like I've kind of been, trying to get it together ever since. And I feel like now it's kind of, things are kind of, getting into gear. And I think kind of like I'm getting, I wouldn't say I don't really, I have plenty of ideas of what I want to do is kind of
Sure.
whatever pans out first. So, still trying to get that direction and everything, but things are definitely it's definitely better than especially when I first got out. 2017 was a rough year.
Yeah, I feel you.
2018 was bad. 2019 was catastrophic. 2020 has just been kind of weird, but not in the same way as I honestly. And we're entering the tail end of 2020. I
Yeah.
feel like 2019 was worse for me. Um, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'd say
It is
17
what
was
it
my
is.
hardest year. And
Yeah,
it's slow but steady incline.
yeah,
It's going, and I think honestly all you can do is just try to, go nothing but forward. And I know sometimes it's hard to not get into your head and not be like, fuck man, what am I doing? Like
mm-hmm.
it can be easy to fall into that pit of negativity, but I think it's also up to you to dig yourself out of those sort of thoughts and emotions. And if you are really struggling, then potentially reach out to somebody and be like, yo man, I'm not feeling too hot, like
Yeah,
I could use some not necessarily like attention, but I could use some good talking to. Like
mm-hmm.
I could use somebody to talk to, and I think it'd be nice. I think that's helpful for sure.
Yeah.
um
And I lucked out too because I have two of my really good friends, like my family out here. One of them, he's a weekend warrior, but he's still in. He's in the army, and then I have another one's in the navy. So I have like not only veterans around mine, but I have like my actual friends who are kind of in it, and who
yeah,
know and can relate. So that's good. So like I
yeah,
said, I do have a unique situation. I'm very grateful of it because I have a lot of people, especially like with Reed. Reed is one of those people who he went to what did he go to Alabama for school. Yeah, he went to Alabama and he was kind of there by himself. As far as I know, probably didn't have a big support unit there
yeah,
for him and just kind of dealing. Then the demons got too much. I can relate. I know how that is. We kind of all deal with them, but you know some of us are a little bit more fortunate than others. Because we've
yeah,
lost. I mean, what was it? There's been a bunch of people,
yeah,
in 2-7 that I knew, uh, that have, lost that struggle. So it's definitely nuts. But
yeah.
have you had Schaefer on?
No, I'm not.
You should have him on. He does. He is. I think he found and he's running the company. What is it called?
It's a Valhalla project.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
reached out to him. I'm sure he's busy. He's
I
got a
know he's
lot.
mad busy. Yeah, he's mad busy because they've
Yeah,
been expanding and stuff. Like,
yeah, he's a busy dude.
bro.
Maybe I'll reach out to him again, but it'd be cool to have him on. I'd
Yeah,
like to.
yeah, it definitely.
It'd be fucking awesome to talk to him on
It'd
here.
be great to hear his story and kind of
Fuck
how
yeah.
that stuff even started. Because I didn't really know. Like, I talked to him and he's cool. I hung out with him and everything, but like I didn't really know him. But
Me
I was
either.
like, yeah, and I saw. I was like, I had seen he was doing work with them. I thought he kind of just jumped in with the company, but I didn't know he started that. And I was
I
like, oh,
remember
that's
a
cool.
while ago when he invited me to follow a page, and I was like, man, who the fuck is this? And then I click on his profile and I see that like a bunch of my seniors are following him, and like I was like, cool. I'll support him for sure. So I just
Yeah,
followed his page. I added him on Facebook, and then I saw it just steadily growing,
yeah,
getting bigger and getting bigger, and I was like, fuck
yeah.
yeah! And now
I didn't
he's
really like. I had kind of seen some stuff he was doing, but it didn't really. I didn't really like. I don't want to say get involved, but I didn't really. It didn't really peak on my radar until after Reed had passed, and I ended up getting a bracelet for Reed and
yeah,
everything. I gotta find mine. I know it's somewhere. But yeah,
yeah,
man, I used to take that. Like, I used to take that thing around with me all the time. You know, that thing like never came off, and it was just like that shit was, man, that shit was rough, dude. Um, but yeah, I mean, and there's been plenty of people. No, none of them really hit me as hard as Reed, but there's been plenty of people that I knew that have, you know, that aren't here anymore, and
Yeah,
that's rough, you know.
for sure.
But it's also kind of in a weird sense, motivating. Good lord, here,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me go.
Go for it. Go
Freaking
for
like,
it.
but
And
yeah, so that
radio
was
back.
good. So yeah, so that was really rough, dealing with that and everything. And
Yeah,
I kind of got slammed, you know, right out the gate, trying to figure out my life,
yeah,
figure out my family situation, and then you know, Reed passing and everything, dude. It was just nuts. But yeah, so things have gotten. I mean, I'm trying to keep, you know, everybody, most people, like I don't talk to everybody as much as I do. I talk to Reed, or not Reed, Red all the time,
yeah,
pretty consistently. I haven't heard from him in a while. Should probably check up on him. I know
yeah,
he was doing fine last time I talked, but you know, you never know.
yeah.
Um, and I talked to you. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
talked to Coyle in a while.
Coil.
But I
I
know
did
he's
my
good.
last
Yeah,
PFT.
did he? Yeah, because we had Coyle up there at
I ran
the
halfway and
three.
ran back, and I was like, I'm done. He's like, all right.
Sounds right, right. Yo, we were hooking people up on that stuff so much. We're like, dude, we don't even care. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, I think I did one for somebody, and I think we like, dude, I think we just did the run part. Like, I was like, dude, we're just gonna write stuff on this. Like, we're just gonna do the run because I really don't feel like being out here. Like, when we're just
Yeah.
gonna kill some time and make it look like I was like, we're gonna go. I was like, I'm gonna pretend I'm counting. Like, guys, do some sit ups so it looks like you're doing something, whatever. But like, just in case people are
Yeah.
watching. I was like, no, this is stupid. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Coyle. I haven't talked to him in a while. I know he got married recently. But I know he's good. I haven't heard from Urfer in a while. I'm kind of that he was I'm a little concerned about Urf. He was damn. I wonder what happened to that son of a bitch. Like I haven't seen him post anything in a while.
You should hit him
I
up.
hope he's okay. Yeah, I need to hit him up. I was like, I hope he's okay because he was. You know how like you know you have your list of people you know whatever and like the
You'd be
people who are
surprised.
more
You'd be surprised.
yeah people who are you would think be more likely to kind of you know be at risk for stuff like that. And then like I said, surprise like because you know on
Yeah.
my list Reed was not on that list and
Yeah.
Urfer was like I was expecting you know I was like if I heard something about him like that's no disrespect to him you know I just don't know he's just kind of somebody that concerns me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, like, you know, he was on there and, you know, he's fine. I hope he's doing fine. I hope most of the guys are doing well. I don't talk to a lot of easy company guys. Um, really, no, I don't really,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
talk
kind
to,
of. I
besides,
wouldn't say
well,
it's hard to keep
Weaver,
up with everybody. It's just.
I do talk to Weaver. Yeah, Weaver and Red. And then, I do talk to, what's his name? He's gonna be mad. I forgot it. Navarez. I do talk to Navarez.
Which Navarre's from
Um,
Easy?
yeah,
B-
Jake
Uh,
Tavares.
big dude.
He was a my yeah, Jack
I haven't
Diesel.
spoken with
Yeah,
him in a while. That dude was fun. That dude is. I when we were getting rocketed like pretty bad. That I saw
yeah,
fear on that motherfucker. I saw
yeah.
fear on like real ass fear on his face. Navarez, I hope you're doing well, dude. You're a funny guy. You're fucking
You should
cool.
have him on.
I
He'd be
should have
good.
him on. He was. I really enjoyed talking to him. He was cool.
Yeah, he pisses me off because I'll post some like sad boy shit on my Snapchat, and he'll be like, "Dude, he's like, you gotta be positive." Like, dude, fuck off. Just let me be sad for
You
a
got a what?
minute.
What did he say?
I was like, he's like, dude, you gotta be positive, and you gotta, you know,
Navarez.
like look at your situation better. I was like, dude, fuck off. Like, let me be sad for a little
Yeah, yeah.
bit.
Just
It's
I
like
don't.
he's great. He's good having
I
around.
want to be sad right now.
Like, let me feel something.
Yeah, Navarez is
Um,
cool.
but
Yeah,
no, he's good. He's good people. So I talked to him. Um,
I need to hit him
but
up.
yeah, no, what you said, you do have a point. It is kind of hard to keep in touch.
It is. It's
You know,
strangely
'cause,
hard. It's weird because you could just
yeah,
reach out, right? But it's still, I don't know. Like,
life.
yeah,
You know,
life for sure. Life. You get
life's going
busy.
on. I mean, and it's like you got, you know, your own family situation going on. You know, I had, you know, I had a whole situation going on.
Yeah.
Now I'm a single dad and everything, and trying to work and all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, you got to
You're
get caught up in
busy.
the flow, and it's hard
Yeah.
to. It is kind of hard to break that circle because we have those circles of people we just talk to. I talk to, like I said, most of my friends, like my lifelong friends, are here in Kansas City, so they're already here. My family is here.
Yeah.
Um, everything's here. The only people that I really talk to that aren't in the state, um, are two friends. One that lives in California, and
Mm-hmm.
and the one that lives in Michigan. But ironically, I met both of them through the military
No shit.
because they were both military spouses. Because old dude was he was married to um a chick who was I think she was combat camera.
Nice.
And then yeah, right. And then the other chick, she was married to a dude. He was Trax, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
He was tracks.
yeah, I think it was Trax if I remember correctly. And then ironically enough, it was funny. We were all talking. I was like, dude, you know what's so funny? It's like, and then we've all kind of like bonded more over the last couple of years, but it's so funny because our like stories are kind of similar. Like we kind of all got screwed over by our exes, and like through the trauma, we kind of become like a little,
A little
a
circle.
little posse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, so I do keep in touch. But yeah, like most people, outside you poking in and everything, like I don't talk to a lot of guys, and
Yeah. I try to poke in. I try to like.
mhm. And I see, I kind of engage online,
Yeah.
like we have a whole, I don't know, are you, no, you're probably not a part, but we have a major carrier. He put it together a long time ago, but we have a whole like 2-7, or we have an easy company, like
Nice.
Facebook page, and people post stuff in there. I'm friends with a lot of guys from 2-7. Yeah, I don't really talk to anybody, but I kind of see what they're doing and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
but
just
yeah,
made a group chat with
the
my
only,
with my guys, and I hit them up there every once in a while, and
mm,
I try to like every once in a while I'd be like, yo, how's everybody doing? Like what's up?
yeah,
And just check up on them, and like I said, you'd be surprised. A lot of the guys that I didn't think would be struggling with anything,
mm,
what's the five? What's that dude's that rapper name? 5'9" or what the fuck? Check up on your strong
six
friends.
nine,
No, no, no. Fuck.
five
No,
nine,
not
Tech
6.
nine,
No, no. He's fuck. I forgot his name. But he has a song that's
six
called.
nine,
No, 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 no. 5'9". I can't remember. I'll have to remember. But he has a song that's called
five
like "Check
nine.
Up on Your Strong Friends." Um,
Mm. I'll have to look it up.
yeah. But like you'd be surprised when I had Brady on here, Cat from Moto T. I never thought he would
Hmm.
be dealing with anything, and when I heard his story, I was like,
Oh, you
okay,
had Cat on here? I need to watch that one.
yeah. I was surprised, dude. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's such a cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool guy. Um, I had him. I want to get Ski on here too. Another Moto
Mm.
T guy.
Oh yeah, Ball. I used to talk to Ball a lot.
Ball's cool.
Me,
I haven't
yeah,
spoken
me,
with Ball.
Coil, and Ball. We would play PUBG all the time. Like, dude, we went to man. We would always play PUBG.
Yeah, Ball's
I
cool.
haven't been, yeah, I haven't played with him in a while. And
He
then,
was in Jordan.
yeah.
That's where I really started talking to Ball, and
Mhm.
we started going to the gym together. And then I fucking left to Iraq, but he was cool. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
Ball is solid, dude.
yeah. There's a bunch of cool guys. Just check up on people, I guess. You don't have to, but it's nice to
Yeah.
hear from your old friends. Um, so I guess we'll be closing up here with this. For people who
Hmm.
are potentially struggling or dealing with things that you were dealing with, what would you recommend for people to do, and things that worked for you? Obviously, you had a little bit of a different case because you have family members who were in
Hmm.
the service, but
Yeah.
anything helps.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, plug in. Get connected to a group of veterans or maybe even people active duty. Like find an outlet. Find somewhere where you can kind of um, create that camaraderie.
Yeah,
Because that's like you said, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing when I noticed when I got out. Like, and it hurts me because I see like I've worked a lot. I've worked at a few places since I've been out, and And I see people, they hang out, they do stuff and whatever, it's like, damn, dude, I wish I was a part of that. I wish I was
Yeah.
a part of the group. I wish people would invite me to come have a drink after work. And,
Yeah.
and then sometimes like being, single dad, like, 'cause sometimes people invite me and I can't. And it's like, that sucks too, because I feel like I'm missing out on the camaraderie.
Right.
But find something that's good for you. Find an outlet, whether that's sports, whether that's video games or whatever. Find a group that you can connect and plug into that will, for the most part, fulfill that camaraderie. I mean, if you can find like-minded individuals or veterans and stuff, the better, because it'd be easier for you guys to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, get connected. Even like somebody Red, he had a little rough patch, and somebody had told him, like, go to the recruiter's office, go talk to some Marines.
Oh, true.
I'm like, that's a good idea too. Go get engaged, like go to the reserve post or whatever and go talk to them, and be like, hey, look, I got out, kind of looking, to be around some Marines or to be around my kind.
Yeah,
They're
for
not gonna
sure.
say no. They're gonna be, talk and everything like that. So to definitely get connected, because that makes it easier. Get in a group of people, that can be there, because I don't want to say reach out, because that's really hard. It is
It is
something you
hard.
should do, but
It,
I'm somebody that I really struggle with that.
yeah. Same,
So
dude.
get around people who care about you, and that will, not only reach out, but are gonna not gonna let you, marinate in it,
Yeah.
not gonna let you kind of swim around in whatever you're dealing with. Um, and I told people, you know, anybody watching this, and honestly, you can put some of my contact information on it. Like, if you need somebody to call, I have insomnia, I don't sleep, and I would
Answers
much
to everything.
rather. Yeah, it's like I heard somebody said this, or I saw it posted somewhere, but somebody said, I would rather I'd rather hear your story than attend your funeral.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm all for it. After Reed, no more. I'm not
Yeah.
losing anybody else. So if that means I have to talk to you, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be up at 8, and I'm a little bit tired at work, like, that's worth it to me.
Yeah.
That's worth it to me, knowing that I could be there for you at a time where you're kind of, not doing so well.
Yeah.
So, reach out to me if you need to. Reach out to people.
Reach out to me.
It's hard. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, reach out here. There's avenues, there's outlets, there's a bunch of stuff, there's a lot of resources. Prepare. I would say what people need to do is, like, with anything else, prepare for those situations when, things are gonna happen, things are gonna get rough for you. Make sure you have some resources lined up for you. Like connections, like,
Yeah.
having those outlets. There's suicide hotline, there's vet hotlines and stuff like that. Make sure you have those outlets set up for when things get rough. Um, but yeah, so the biggest thing I'd say, just connect. Find like-minded individuals, find Marines. Marines, find people from your branch or whatever, your walk of life, and get in there, because we do have close friends, personal friends from before our time in the Marine Corps, but they don't understand us like they used
Yeah.
to. That's just the sad truth. And that's shitty. I was actually thinking about the other night. I was at a party, and I kind of clocked out early,
Yeah.
and I was just like, damn, dude, this is so hard to be around you people, because, like, I don't understand you and you don't understand me, and it's just like,
Yeah.
that's a hard place to be at. It's very isolating, but make sure you get around people who understand,
Yeah.
and you can talk to about this stuff. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just stay connected, get reestablish that camaraderie, and stay connected. It's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah. Find your people. Find your people that'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And I think you'll do well. If you're going through a dark place, don't just close up. I know it's easy to just shut it down. I've been there before. Doesn't do you any good. It just
No, it
it
doesn't.
just leads you down even a darker path. Yeah, just don't close up. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Even yeah, friends, military members. Anything helps, like you were saying. But yeah, dude. Thank you for coming on again. I appreciate it. Episode 16 in
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
books, baby.
But
If you want to shout out any of
yeah,
your
so we got to get
things
to
that people can check out.
yeah. So links, or if you're watching this post, I mean, obviously after the fact, links should be in the description. Link trees for I got a few things going on. Couple different podcasts. To be completely honest, struggling with motivation to keep them going. So,
I feel that.
I'm still fluctuating with consistency, but I'm getting there. Um, so I have Cult Mentality, which is more of a It's more of a political kind of life centered, discussion, kind of like the Joe Rogan podcast, open stations. I have Leucolid Apparition. Good luck trying to spell that. It's in the link tree.
It is in the link tree.
But that one's more of a life advice kind of podcast where I'm talking about, kind of things that are going on in my mind and breaking down kind of deeper concepts and stuff like that. And then I have the Insomniac Gaming channel, which I'm trying to get that off the ground.
Yeah.
We're gonna be gaming late night. So if you're not doing anything, you're like me, if you can't sleep, I play video games all the time. Might as well have some fun with it. So
Yeah.
all those descriptions should be in. I have 3 different link tree things in the description. So subscribe to those things. Like I said, reach out to me. You can reach out to me on those things. If you want to be on the podcast, reach out to me as well. I need guests. Most of my people keep dropping like flies, so it's hard to stay consistent.
We'll get it going.
Yeah, we'll get it going. So yeah, I need people. So I'm open to anybody. I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody about anything. So let's get it popping. But yeah, so all my links should be in the description below. So, and then another thing, subscribe to VetterView if you're not already subscribed. Please fucking subscribe.
Come on, guys, let's do it. We're spreading the good word.
I'll be sending you out of my tiny little platforms, making sure that it gets
a platform, dude. Anything is anything.
We gotta support. Exactly, we gotta support each other. So
nobody else will. So we gotta help each other out.
Yeah, exactly. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
For sure. But yeah, brother. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you. And I hope everybody enjoyed his story. I thought it was an awesome story. I know we got a little bit off topic, but that's cool. It's a podcast. That's
my apologies. I have ADHD, so
no. It's cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was dope, and it's a good change to everything, right? Yeah. I want to thank Erin, who is actually subscribed to on Anchor, and she's donating a little bit of money to the podcast to keep it going. She thinks it's a good
Erin, you're a real one.
You're a real one. I appreciate you. And if anybody is feeling generous, you can do the same. And I'm going to be doing something where you can get access to merchandise earlier than everybody else. Behind the scenes videos, like the conversations that you and I had before this podcast. I'm going to do something. And yeah, if you feel generous, subscribe, like, share, follow my man's shit on the description. And yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. Thank you. Peace.